Concert Crew Podcast, we back again.
Yes, sir.
Today, Nas 50.
5-0.
Nas Escobar, Nasty Nas, man. 50 years old, man.
You know what it is.
Celebrating the 50th birthday, man, for Nas, the legend today, man. Wow, man. He's been in the game for so long, 30 years. Like, what does it mean, man, that Nas is turning 50 the same year that the hip-hop is turning 50?
That's
like,
major.
What does that mean?
It's an omen.
That's major.
It was written.
Yeah.
Simple, man. It's not rocket science. It was written.
That's major, man.
I think it's dope because it's like, man, if you could probably like pick one artist that kind of like really just symbolizes hip hop, just like the essence of hip hop, Nas would be that probably the first answer for most people.
Absolutely.
And for him to be celebrating his 50th birthday the same year as hip hop, like really like a month after hip hop. So he was born like a month after hip hop started.
It's poetic.
Like I just feel like that's not no coincidence, man. That's only right. And he's hip hop.
Yeah.
He's hip hop
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
So for him his whole lifespan is the whole span of hip hop. That's dope, man.
That's something to hang your hat on.
Word.
You know,
Queens guy, Pito. We know that we know that Queens have some great artists coming out of there. Great.
Yeah.
Do you think Nas took it to another level, or you think that Run DMC just put it there? And
I think Run DMC just put it there.
okay.
Yeah, then Nas took off. But, like, I always said Nas is just a younger version of Rakim.
Okay.
They're basically the same person. It's just
that's
Nas.
definitely that family tree. Yeah.
It's just Nas is more. I don't know. Rakim is mellow too.
They both got the same sort
Demeanor.
of aura to them, demeanor, and because I mean he's a direct, that's the era he was influenced by most in his formative years as a rapper. Because you figure you coming up in that golden era, you got KRS-One, Big Daddy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's your direct influence, right?
I tried to see the difference. It's just Nas is more lyrical than Rakim.
I think with Rakim is
Rakim is
content,
rhyming.
The content and the lyrics, absolutely. The cadence, he got that classic cadence. But I think Nas took that and said, "How can I enhance that?"
Yeah, I agree.
With more word,
And not
play.
only that, take it to another level.
Yeah, absolutely.
The beautiful thing about Rakim is that you gotta realize, man, like he doing this like no curse words.
Yeah.
Like
that's
that's what make his.
And could you take his acapellas and put them on joints now?
Absolutely,
And they sound
absolutely, man, absolutely.
He's probably the classic cadence.
Yeah, man. And
if
he-
you saying rapper, the first thing popping in your mind is Rakim's cadence.
Yeah,
That
yeah, he's special.
Yeah.
Rakim is special. Nas is special too.
the voice.
Yeah.
All right, so when did y'all first hear Nas? Like, when did you first hear Nas?
When did I first hear that?
I'm gonna say
know on the radio.
main source. I like
Live at the barbecue?
yeah. That's when I and when he rapped, yo, it was crazy, man. And cause you gotta realize around this time, man, like we wasn't hearing this type music, man. And he came out of I don't want to say he came out of nowhere, but man, the discovery of Nas, man, is special. And when I heard him, I was like, yo, man, like this somebody that's really chewing, like this somebody that's really rapping. I'm like, yo, who that? And you know who played that shit? B Rivers. I'll never forget it, man. B Rivers played it. He used to play that shit. When B Rivers used to stay on 10th Street, like a few doors down from George and Jermaine Emery. B Rivers turned me on to Nas, I want to say. Through main source was live at the barbecue.
I remember
And he
hearing
kept
that
playing
shit,
that shit.
I remember hearing this shit, and of course, like I said, we coming off that golden era. So for me, it was like it can't get no better than that.
Right.
But immediately when I heard it, I didn't say it was better. I just said, "Oh shit, this is different."
Yeah.
It just felt different, man. The flow and the content, it was just like, oh, okay, this is okay. I got to hear more, and that was the thing. I was like, okay, when we gonna get more? And then I got halftime, and once I heard halftime, I said, "This the next one. This the next one." It didn't take a lot. All I needed to hear was halftime. That was it for me. When I heard halftime, I said, "This is the one right here."
Shit, I heard it live on the radio with MC Search was up there, and he played it.
Damn.
I just can't remember which, if it was Flex. I don't think it was Flex though. Maybe it was Magic on then. Mr. Magic?
He always references Magic.
It might have been Magic
Yeah.
because I remember it was late at night.
Yeah, he always references it. And
Because back then you couldn't play rap early, like lunch. You know, like you might hear a couple of rap songs, but around lunchtime. But then it wasn't full blown; it was all R&B.
Okay.
It only played when the DJs came on at night,
Oh, okay.
like Mr. Magic and them, and it was. And then later on, you'll hear it a lot midnight on, but about 10 o'clock, that's when you start hearing it. That's when hip hop first got on the radio, really. But then it blew up.
It was funny because it was a
Daytime.
gap. It was a gap between halftime and the actual release. Because I remember niggas laughing at me like, "Damn, man, it's been a long halftime for your boy, man. Is he going to drop?" I just remember niggas clowning me. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting. I was like, God damn. Because it wasn't like you was getting a lot of music back then. You wasn't getting a lot of music. I just got that. I got the live at the barbecue and then halftime. And then it was a gap. And I was like, damn, like what happened? And then, boom.
There was other songs that came out between them.
For me, it was them two. And then you got the Illmatic. That's how I got it. That's how I got it.
Yeah, see, I'm a little younger, so I didn't hear Live at the Barbecue when it first came out, and I didn't hear he was on Back to the Grill Again, also on MC Search solo album. He killed that verse too, but I didn't hear them when they first came out. I just heard Illmatic, and I heard Illmatic because my uncle and them used to bump the tape heavy. So before I even really knew who Nas was, I knew the album because I used to hear it all the time. But before I had a face or even name or who exactly he was,
heard it.
I knew the music because it was playing all the time. And the cassette tape was always playing in the car when I was with him and his friends. So when I actually really went to be like, oh, who's Nas? I'm like, oh, I already know that album. That's the album they always playing. That's Illmatic. So I knew the whole album because it's not a long album. So they used to play it all the time. So I knew it. I used to bob my head. But I didn't know like his name was Nas yet until I got a little more older into my hip hop. A couple years, maybe like a year or two later. And then I was like, oh, that's not. Oh, that's ill. Oh, yeah, that's John. That's classic. But I didn't hear Back to the. I was a little too young for Live at the Barbecue, even though he killed it. Going back and listening to it, even Back to the Grill Again, I didn't hear that, and I didn't hear the halftime single. I just heard straight to the album.
Hold on, what was that on? What was on the soundtrack? One of them was on the soundtrack.
It's probably halftime.
Halftime. Okay, halftime was on the soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
what
it was the
movie
other
was
one.
that?
What?
Live at the Barbecue was on the soundtrack.
It was one of them from one of them was on a soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken.
With the white boy on the cover.
Yeah, it was a soundtrack. Let me see here.
With the white boy on the cover? What, MC Search?
No.
No.
It was a movie from the movie.
What movie was that?
I felt like halftime was on a movie soundtrack.
Yeah, Zebrahead.
Zebrahead.
That's what it was. 92. Zebrahead. That's what it was.
But it was halftime that was on there?
Yeah, it was halftime.
Yeah, I knew it was halftime.
It was halftime.
Yeah.
And let me see here, because I remember. I just want to check the sequence. Go ahead, Carl. I just want to check the sequence.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
now I'm gonna get into a little history, quick history, man. It's funny because we always associate Nas with Queensbridge. Do you know where Nas was born at?
I think it's down south. It was down south, Mississippi or something.
No, Nas was born in Brooklyn.
I thought it was down south, or was his family? Down
His
south?
family's from down
Okay,
south.
go ahead.
Yeah,
His
but
family continued
Nas
down
Ben Alu Dora Jones was born in Brooklyn, the borough of Brooklyn, New York City, on September 14th, 1973. His father, Lou Dora, born Charles Jones III, is a jazz and blues musician from Mississippi, as you saying, Phil. His mother, Fannie Ann, was a U.S. Postal Service worker from North Carolina, so both his parents is from the South. His father adopted the name Lou Dora from the Yoruba people. Nasir is an Arabic name meaning helper and protector, while Ben means the son of in Arabic. As a young child, Nas, his parents, and his little brother Jungle, they relocated to Queensbridge housing projects. His neighbor, Willie, or how we would later be known as Ill Will Graham, influenced his interest in hip-hop, playing him records. His parents divorced in 1985, and he dropped out of school after 8th grade. He educated himself about African culture through the 5% Nation and the Nubian Nation. In the early years, he played the trumpet and began writing his own rhymes. As a teenager, Nas used his best friend Ill Will, who lived upstairs from him in their house, and he was the DJ. So he's the one who threw Nas all the music and really got his creative flow going. Ill Will. Nas initially went by the nickname Kid Wave before adopting his most commonly known alias, Nasty Nas. In 1989, at 16 years old, Nas met producer Large Professor and went to the studio where Rakim and Kool G Rap used to record with Marley Marl. When it was for free time in the studio, Large Professor used to sneak Nas in there, and Nas used to start making songs and working on songs, his own material, but that was never released. In 1991, he was on Main Source Live at the Barbecue, also produced by Large Professor. In mid-1992, he was approached by MC Search of Third Base, who became his manager and secured Nas a record deal with Columbia Records during that same year.
Still with Columbia.
He ain't on Columbia no more.
Oh, you not?
He been on that for a while. Because he was on
He
was on Def Jam for a little
Jam.
bit. Then he went independent. Nas made his solo debut under the name Nasty Nas on the single Halftime from MC Search's soundtrack film Zebrahead. He was called the New Rakim. His rhyming skills attracted a lot of attention within the hip-hop community. In 1994, Nas' debut album Illmatic was released. It featured production from Large Professor, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, LES, and DJ Premier, with guest appearances from his friend AZ and his father, Lou Dora. The album spawned singles The World Is Yours, It Ain't Hard to Tell, One Love. Illmatic received critically acclaimed. It was critically acclaimed across the board, universally. In hip hop, it went gold. This started off Nas' career that spawned more than 30 years. He's been in the game. He sold over 20 million albums in the U.S. and 30 million albums worldwide. So, fellas, man,
and that only went gold.
Yeah.
Even now,
You gotta think about
even
that.
now?
I think
It went platinum, but it went platinum after it was written success. People started going back and getting
So now overall,
it's platinum.
It's platinum
now.
now.
it's just platinum.
Yeah,
It's certified.
Just
now,
platinum
but
now.
It took a while.
Yeah, but it was just gold for a while. But what happened when it was written got so commercially successful, then people started going back and buying Illmatic. But it was just critically acclaimed.
Illmatic was so hip hop that
So hood.
Yo, man, it was so crazy that when it was written, came out, which was more commercialized. Yeah. A lot of people went back to Illmatic.
Yeah, as crazy as that sound, though.
For real though, cause I remember it myself. But I was so fluent with Illmatic that it made me make my decision real quick on it was written to Illmatic.
It was written was because of Illmatic's lack of commercial success.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You got it was written the songs some of the commercial choices because of what happened on Illmatic. Not to say that it's any less of an album, because to me it's still the GOAT album. I'm not.
And also introductions. Yeah, he brought a lot of introductions on it.
It was written was real calculated, but we're gonna get a little more into that. It's a reason why he really went for a certain sound on it was written. It was a certain person that sparked that. Absolutely. We're gonna get into more of that. But how would you describe Nas' style as an MC?
Almost poetic.
Yeah,
It's a certain poetry to it. like I said, is influenced by that golden era heavily, where he has that classic cadence and flow, but with more wordplay and the creativity that he has with it. He's creative as hell when you really look at it. Some of the concepts that he has on certain records, you got to appreciate creativity to really. I think that's one of his strong points, his creativity in terms of some of the things that he does with his writing.
I would call him a street poet. He's like the definition of a street poet. Like he had that song Project Windows. Like he was that guy that just looked out his window and was able, like the hustlers and the people from his neighborhood really couldn't articulate what was going on, and he was that writer. Like that Langston Hughes, the person that would write the masterful books, he wrote the masterful rhymes to describe the conditions of his neighborhood. And I do agree, he came from the family, the DNA of Rakim as far as like lyrical patterns, but then Nas kind of bottled it up for the generation after that 80s run and took it to another level, where Rakim had a certain little run and then it was kind of over. Nas was able to like channel that and reach a little more with his style of poet.
Has Nas ever been on a song with Rakim?
Nah, the closest thing that I had was that autobiography, and there was something behind.
I think if I'm not mistaken, but I don't think they actually recorded together. But Kanye had a song called
Sprite song. It was a Sprite song.
Yeah, it was like classic or something.
Yeah,
and it was
song.
It was Nas,
so
Rakim.
technically, yes, on a song.
Yeah, I don't think they actually recorded together.
KRS-One.
It was KRS-One, Nas,
Kanye, and.
Yeah, it was like
four of them.
It was like 4 people.
It's 4 of them. So yeah, he has been on a record with Rakim.
But I don't think they actually and he felt some kind of way about that autobiography.
Yeah, he did.
Nas was doing it as a tribute, but Rakim didn't like it.
Yeah.
So he kind of fell back from it. He was kind of surprised that Rakim really didn't like that song though. So he kind of fell back. So I don't know if their relationship is.
It's cool now. I think it's cool now from what I remember. But there was an issue with that song because
MC Shan got issues. MC Shan got beef with Nas.
Nah, they passed out. Yeah, they
I'm fucking with you.
They passed that
Well,
he didn't hit him off for nothing.
But Freaks, Pito, how would y'all describe Nas' style as an MC?
Man, his wordplay was crazy, man. But street poet is definitely one of the things I would say. But he a dog though. He a dog, man. He will bite your fucking head off, man.
Yeah.
And he is a hard act to follow on features and things of that nature. And he like all around. He's so all around to me, but his intellect side, man, and like Phil said, his creativity, man, is unmatched, man. He's a creative dude, man. For real, man. Like, so
I think, like I said, I think he's a younger Rakim with a better flow and more topics
and better resources at his disposal. Probably, you got access to technology. It advanced
absolutely.
So now you're going to get a better sound. Not to say that Rakim's sound was bad. It's just
he was just
evolution. You could say. Evolution. I think that's probably the best word.
Well, Pito, you being from Queens, I'm going to ask you this first, and then we all can chime in. What does Nas mean to the borough of Queens?
I would say he's the GOAT of Queens. Not because there's 3 GOATs of rap. But I don't know. I think he's the GOAT overall, but then you got Biggie right behind him because Biggie had a lot of hits, a lot of more songs that I liked. Jay-Z is kind of neck and neck with Nas, but Jay-Z got a little bit of different flow, but I still think Nas is probably the best one. I would have to say he's the GOAT because he has stuff that Biggie don't have.
Let's stick to Queens for a second. We're going to get to the GOAT later.
All right, well, then Queens, he's the GOAT of Queens, I just say, yeah, he's the GOAT. Because there's a lot of rappers out of Queens and a lot of people that try to be like him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like
He got a lot of people that trying to mimic what he do.
Because you got
But also, he tore Jay-Z up. That's another thing.
Yo, we're going to get into that too, man. Let's stick to Queens for a second. You know, he got to take, we're going to get into all of that, man.
Can't
yeah, but as I was saying, you know, like, because we know who was that large group that came out of Queens, like
absolutely. They kicked the door down.
That kicked the door down. It's hard to look over them.
But you can't compare them.
You can't. I understand that, but they from Queens.
Run DMC.
But they from Queens,
yeah,
man.
you forgetting G
We
Unit.
forgetting somebody.
G Unit came in.
We forgetting somebody else even before that, though, man. We gotta give. I mean, this is the Nas episode, but if we talking Queens, we gotta give L his props, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gotta give L.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
L did something different. Run DMC broke into the music scene, but LL took it to the radio.
But was still hard too, though.
Yeah, he
'Cause
he was
LL
able to
has
maintain.
L got both sides, the versatility that
I
LL
agree.
was.
He
You know
do.
what I mean?
He
do.
So we can't not have him in that conversation in terms of
Yeah.
It's like when it comes to
But
L.
you know what?
when it-
L is the GOAT overall. Nas is just the hood GOAT. Because L didn't have the hood like Nas had it.
Now I'm gonna go with Nas overall. Period. I just wanted to give L his.
Yeah.
You know,
Nah.
Because I think
L to me.
interesting.
I don't think he's the GOAT, but L like the GOAT is his nickname, and I feel like he deserves that respect, like to be at the table because he is a GOAT. He is a GOAT, and he was the first one in rap to me that had that run like Nas and Jay-Z had later. LL was the first one that kind of like came out the 80s and really went in the 90s and the 2000s and just kept on going, where everybody else from his era was kind of quiet, couldn't put out music no
I'll
more.
leave off L like this. L is the grandfather to a lot of what's going on as far as the raps cater towards female.
Absolutely.
You know what I
He
mean?
kicked it
and
off.
still having that. Like when you look at Drake, the mixture of the album, when you got your female records and you got your hard record radio, you got your radio records and you got your street records, that's the grandfather to that.
I say a whole bunch of them came from
but
LL
Drake don't have
DNA.
street records.
Drake has harder records. Let me.
He don't.
He's got harder
There's
records.
nothing
not
hard
street
about him.
records.
He's singing.
So okay.
LL
So
don't
shit.
sing.
Okay. So shit like Scary Hours. That's not hard. Like shit like that.
He got some
What's-
joints.
wait,
he got
wait,
some
wait,
joints
wait.
that's
What's
harder.
Scary
He got
Hours?
some- He
What's
don't like
Scary
Drake
Hours?
neither. You
Like
ain't
the
gonna
shit
win.
with
You ain't gonna win in this
Drake's
conversation.
Okay.
Bill.
You know what? I don't want to go off topic because I thank you for the warning. I'm gonna leave it alone. Proceed, Carl. Go ahead, man.
Nah,
Okay.
but
I'm gonna let it go.
So you want to compare him to like Luther? Or something,
That's funny, man.
you know,
I told you it was going to go.
Luther's a goat. You know, Luther is great.
Luther is a goat.
That's a verse.
You know, I'm not
have a hard
gonna argue
time
with you.
Luther is a goat. But
I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole.
I feel
You
like
ain't gonna get me.
I feel like Nas is definitely he's the GOAT of Queens for sure. And I don't even though respect to Run DMC, they kicked down the door, and I feel like LL Cool J came right from the he took it where Run DMC brought it, and then he took it to the masses with the ladies and all that. But it was a moment, if everybody don't forget, where KRS-One really shut down Queens for a second.
He did.
And
Big
Queens
facts.
got real quiet
Big
until this young man right here really came back and put the borough on his back. But when South Bronx and the Bridges Over came out, it was real quiet after that until Nas came out.
He talks about that being one of his main motivating factors.
Yeah.
That
Let's not
he
forget.
wanted to get that lick back.
Shan came first, and then KRS came right with that song.
Yeah. And then it got
No,
quiet.
KRS-One lit it. Then Shan came back,
With
and
the
then
bridge,
yeah,
the Queens
then
bridge.
Well, it was KRS
Then
was
KRS
mad because he couldn't get signed with Marley because he came to Marley. That was started.
is that what started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they wasn't really listening. They wasn't really giving him a listen.
Yeah,
they wasn't
didn't
even
wanna-
trying to
Yeah,
give
they
him a
wasn't.
He was
listen.
from the Bronx. They was
Yeah.
being racist.
They wasn't.
to the
Well, you
It
got
Bronx.
the Juice Crew popping at that time. I don't need to listen to you. You know what I mean?
KRS-One
Think
was
about
dope
it.
though, man.
But you got to listen. Think about it though.
No, he had a nice
The
roster.
Juice Crew,
They had
though.
a roster though. They had
The
a roster.
Juice Crew. I don't got time for
He
you.
just had enough people, and then on top of that, then they tried to play KRS on the radio. Like they wouldn't play his songs. And Mr. Magic was tied in with
Queens.
With what's his name?
Marley Marl.
With Marley Marl.
Yeah.
So KRS felt, all right, all Queens is fucking me over. I'm gonna come at them.
But he started his own thing and he popped off.
Yeah.
But it really did start. It really started because he resented it because he wanted to get down and they wouldn't let him get on.
Yeah.
So he popped it off and the rest is history. But Nas, to me, he brought Queens back. The borough of Queens, Queensbridge, everybody. When KRS-One kind of made everybody frown towards the borough just because of the song.
Nori talks about it, Nori talks about it often in terms of, it was hard being from Queens at that time, It was hard. You was looked at different. Niggas, you know what I mean? Niggas looked at you a little different.
Right. But Nas definitely came back and put the borough and Queensbridge, Queens all together. He put them on his back. He was hard, man.
That's a hell of a way to come back, though. That's your borough's comeback. Like after all of that.
Well, he came back because he showed KRS. He sold a lot more than him.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, that wasn't hard. Though. It wasn't hard to sell.
They wasn't moving like
that's a whole different era.
Like that then. But when I mentioned KRS and like LL, Run DMC, them guys, I don't compare them dudes, man, because they like the epitome of the hip hop to me. You feel me? Like
it's almost like they exempt.
Yeah, they exempt in some angles. You know what I'm saying? And when you start naming your five, people like, man, you ain't named Rakim and all them. Man, they been up there. I've been named them.
Yeah, they got legacy.
You feel what I'm saying? It was like this new generation of when I really started really getting into music like that is when I start really looking, damn, like, yo, shit. Like,
you start understanding it too.
Yeah. So, like the older guys, I know L and them, it's L. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. And I feel where you're coming from. You can't leave him out, but when you think of Queens, man, you just think of Nas. Like, it's just something about it. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
He eclipsed all that shit. He eclipsed everything they did, man.
Run DMC for me.
So when you look at it, Run DMC was culturally just a smash, right?
Yeah. They started
from everything. You know what I mean?
Fashion.
The look.
All right. I get what you're saying.
Look, everything.
When somebody says Run DMC, the first thing I see in my head is Adidas
and leather jacket. They made wearing leather pants.
When you say Nas, I think of Queens. When you say Mobb Deep, I think of Queens. I think of Queensbridge Projects.
Which is
I don't think of when Nas. I don't think of Queensbridge Projects. I think of Queens.
Think of Queens. Okay, that's
Mobb Deep. I think of Queensbridge Projects. And then you got. They don't say Queens. They say Hollis. Mm-hmm. You think of Run DMC.
Yeah.
See, he represented Queensbridge and Queens. Run DMC represented hip hop Hollis. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They kind of made Hollis separated from Queens because they didn't really. You didn't hear of Queensbridge or nothing.
Really, when you really,
they were
more focused. They were more New York. Like it wasn't even. It was more broad. It was broader with them. Nas was more Queens because of the whole KRS-One Boogie Down production sort of thing. He wanted to make it a point to
make that Queens,
same as KRS was straight Bronx.
But when I think of Queens and I think of lyrics, it starts with Nas. Like
Absolutely.
When I think of lyricism from Queens, it starts with Nas and then everybody's underneath him. I don't necessarily as great as legendary as Run DMC is. Like when you talk about bars, like it's not like, oh, Queens, who's the best lyricist from Queens? You don't be like, all right, Run DMC. You know
that's not what I think at all.
You don't even think, and you don't even think LL, and LL's dope, but you don't even really necessarily think LL. But you definitely start
at a point.
with
I did though. At a certain point, I get what you're saying though.
But you definitely start with Nas. Like Nas starts it out right there.
Yeah.
So what about Nas? What does Nas mean to New York hip hop?
Shit, I think we basically said it all.
The style, man.
Yeah, the style.
He brought it back from the West Coast.
But you gotta think. Just think about it. That's where I'm getting to. That's where I'm getting to. It's like to New York hip hop, it wasn't like New York was a reign forever. Like it was a point where it went out to the West heavy.
Yeah.
And then the South. And then Outkast.
Well, not yet.
No,
Not-
before,
not-
no. It went
not yet. I don't think
to the West first.
Yeah, it went to the West.
And then like
back to the East.
that period when New York got it back, like how does Nas fit into
But when
that
did
period?
NWA come out?
89, 87,
Well,
88,
Okay, so it was
89.
before that.
No,
What?
the,
No,
the
it was
West Coast.
after.
Well, you figure they hit when I was in high school heavy, like 89. I think was Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton.
And then you had the Chronic. The Chronic
The Chronic was
Doggy Style.
1992.
But it
That's
didn't-
that 89 through 92 run.
Yeah, like
but-
92, 93,
but-
all the way up to
but
Doggy
it
Style. It
didn't
was
go-
West Coast.
But it didn't go to West Coast until they came out. After Nas.
Nah, they came out.
No, they were before
Nah,
Nas.
before Nas.
NWA came
NWA.
out. later.
No,
NWA was
NWA
before Nas.
came out, but it didn't go to the West Coast until Dre came with Chronic.
But they opened that.
They
door.
opened that
Yeah,
door
they
that we
opened that-
heard them, but they didn't take over
Yeah, they ain't take-
until
yeah, I
Dre.
agree.
But
I
remember,
agree, Peter.
but no. NWA was selling units though.
They
But
were
it's like-
selling units, but they still didn't take over.
Nah, they took
the
over. I'ma
West.
tell you why.
Not
I'ma tell you
until
why they took
Dre.
Dre took it even further,
he
but
definitely took it
you
further.
can't sit there and tell me that at that point in time, everybody around the way ain't have LA Kings hats. Everybody was wearing black at that time.
Yeah.
That was their wave.
Yeah.
So for that to kick over here, that's taking
that
over.
has to be
That
heavy.
kicked here. They ain't kicking New York. Because we ain't had no King's hats or nothing there.
So y'all might have been the only place that didn't then.
y'all-
Because
was-
it's-
y'all
because
decided-
it's
because
New
y'all
York.
was stubborn. They
Because
was
y'all
butthurt.
New
Yeah,
York-
because
New
it was
York
New
is
York.
stubborn.
It was butthurt.
New York.
Yeah, New
Y'all
York
was
is
Yeah,
stubborn.
we
New York
always
is
stay
stubborn.
with the Yankee Cats.
Yeah,
New
but
York
y'all was
is
butthurt
stubborn.
though, because they was running.
Nah,
shit.
then
No, not until Dre.
maybe for New York.
Yeah.
But outside of New York,
Y'all was stubborn.
NWA was hitting.
NWA, NWA was a monster.
Yeah,
Yes,
y'all was
they
stubborn.
were.
They
with
were
that.
they were a monster, Peter,
And
when I was coming
and
up.
I think that started out, and I agree with Phil. Then when Dre came out with the Chronic, by then they took it to another
Yeah, they just
level.
forgot about
and
New
then,
York then.
And then when New York, and then when Snoop came out with Doggy Style, and then it was 94, which this album came out, and another album came out, Ready to Die, from my guy. I
got to say my guy? You
Yeah,
got
it's
to
my
do that?
guy. Yeah, we gotta be clear. It's my guy. So
Who, Jay or Biggie?
Biggie, Jay ain't come out in 94, man.
Jay 96.
Jay came out in
Jay came
96. But Nas, on the lyrical tip, acclaimed, all
game
of that
changer.
critical acclaim, game
Game changer.
changer. And then Biggie, with the
He took it back.
the hits and everything, they brought it back to the East, man.
So they had about a year.
But in 93, when Snoop came out in 93, the West Coast still
Say the
had
Wu too, man. Along
Wu-
with Biggie
Wu-
and
No,
them.
yeah, because that
I
was
say the Wu
Wu
too.
came out in
after.
93, though.
Yeah.
He came out in 93.
I think the Wu held on, and
But
when
that Snoop was a phenomenon.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
93,
yeah,
though.
The
yeah,
Wu
that
had that
Snoop
slow
was crazy.
bubble. The Wu had that slow bubble, and then when
Yeah.
they popped, it was like a nuclear bomb. You know what I mean?
but it was so New York.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Wu
So
was
that's
New York.
what.
Wu was
three.
New York.
Them
So,
three.
yeah.
Them three movements
Yeah.
right there.
Yup.
You got Nas.
So
then
you
had
say it
Biggie,
was
and
going,
then-
it was teeter-totting. It was going,
No, West Coast
93
had
going
it.
back
I'm
and
gonna
forth.
keep it a
had it.
bean. They had it.
They had
Yeah.
that.
They
had
was
it.
real. They
If you-
was
If
real.
you listen to
Now
everything,
that you mention it, you
Here,
would,
think
they
about
was
it
real.
like this: when you listen to Nas lyrics and Biggie's lyrics at the time, they explicitly explain, you know, how they tried to get it back,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they say that Snoop and them was running it. They say that it's no secret. They felt it.
Yeah.
So whether you felt it or not, they felt it. So it's like
Well, they
They
were
took-
in the industry, so they would feel it.
Snoop is playing at the beginning of Ready to Die. It's an interlude of Snoop
Mm-hmm.
rap.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Think
yeah.
about that. That's how powerful Snoop was.
Yeah.
Snoop was that guy.
Yeah.
Like, don't get it twisted.
And don't get it twisted. He was selling.
yes,
Yeah, he was
they
moving
were
units.
moving.
He was moving
they
them
were
motherfucking units.
they was moving
units.
millions of records.
They
man.
were moving.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody have a bigger first week selling after Snoop until 50 Cent came out.
I don't know if
That's a
it
long
was
time.
because of New York. Like New York is New York, so you know they the forefathers they started it, so it was like hard for them to
They felt
accept
some
that.
kind of way, man. They
But that
accepted.
motherfucking West Coast run was crazy. I'm
Easy.
telling you, starting from NWA,
Yeah.
that Fuck the Police, that was a national anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real. Like you,
I know I had King's hats.
yeah, I had
ain't
one
gonna
too.
hold you.
I had one too.
I didn't like hockey.
I
At
didn't
all.
get the jacket. or the jersey, but I definitely had the
I
hat.
didn't even know there was hockey.
I stole the hat from the
I
African
didn't
festival.
care about no hockey.
That's where I stole the hat from.
I knew the hat was, black, and they made Raider shit popular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They made, especially Raider shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The
And,
Raiders was heavy.
and let's be real, the S curl shit. That shit was at
you
an
had
all
S
time
curl
high. My shit couldn't get right.
Nah.
My shit couldn't
Carl
get
had
right.
S curl.
Yeah.
I definitely had no S curl. I came after that way, y'all. Too young.
Yeah.
When that dropped,
He had the tail with the S curl.
when that dropped, I felt like this.
Now you said now Illmatic is, some people call it the hip hop Bible.
It is.
This album is an album that most people look up to. So when MCs come out, they like, yo, you listen to Illmatic, you need to go study Illmatic before you start rapping. So what does Illmatic, what does it mean then, and what does it mean now to hip hop? This Illmatic, because it's always Illmatic. I think most people, if that's not their favorite album of all time, it's one of their favorite albums.
This is what it meant. Because I remember vividly, this was kind of like, okay, it was like the record scratch. This area is back. This part of the country is back. And it was so hard, but it was short, but it has so much in it.
Yeah.
Like it was like opening Christmas, man, and you getting the exact gift you want in the perfect color, and you just was like, this is it. This is all I asked for. I don't want nothing else. I'm ready to take my bike outside and I'm gone all day long. And that's what I did with it, man. I zoned out on it and listened to it over and over and over and over. I knew the lyrics after like 3 days, man. After like 3 days, I knew the lyrics, the whole front to back. I remember it, man. Front to back.
That shows you that it's a classic.
Yeah.
Front to back.
And I'm going to say this, and I'm not going out on a limb when I say this. That was the first album that I ever listened to that I didn't mind when that motherfucker started over. I'm being real with you, man.
It started over real sneaky too, because when the last song went off, it just went right back.
Went right back because it was so short.
Quick. Yeah, it was quick.
So you wasn't worried about, damn, let me fast forward. I ain't really feeling this song. Every song was man. And what it means, I think it's the hip hop Bible. I think it's one of the hip hop Bibles,
I heard
man.
I heard somebody say, like, if you had one hip hop album that you could give somebody to say this album is hip hop, like what album would you choose? And I'm not mad with Illmatic being that album.
It's a couple albums.
Now I would, and it's funny because Illmatic is not my favorite album of all time. But
you obviously crazy too.
We can get into that a little later. But I'm not mad at Illmatic being that album to say like, yo, this album is hip hop, and you say, now listen to Illmatic. I'm not mad at that.
It's a couple
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I think, but this album with this opened the super producer up. I mean, the producing team. Before that, it was like everybody just pretty much had one producer that produced the whole album. He had a super group of producers. Then it wasn't even when they made it, they wasn't even thinking about that. But later on in history, looking back, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, Large Professor, like they became like the super producer. Then a bunch of people started following that blueprint after this album came out. So it started trends, but it's just like beats and rhymes. Like beats and rhymes.
Boom bap.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that Nas sought out these producers, or somebody just threw them on his lap?
No, he met with Large Professor first,
and
Large
hooked
Professor
him up with everybody.
Said, "This is who I want. I got you."
His buzz was crazy.
Yeah,
at that time.
I got
so
you, but I know because they were all like, even though they were different producers, they were still tight. They all knew Large Professor knew who was dope. Oh, you would sound dope with Primo. Let me get you with Primo. Pete Rock, you dope with Pete Rock. Oh, you from Queens?
And they was eager to get attached to the project too, because he was a prodigy.
Because remember, they all heard the live from the barbecue verse. So they like, who this dude?
Yeah. It was in their best interest to be like, I want to be attached to this.
If he don't do an album with AZ, his next album, he should go back to all those same producers and redo. Not redo the album.
Can't redo it.
I agree.
New stuff.
I agree. He won't get what you call him though, Pete Rock. I think they got a little fume going on.
I don't want to touch that legacy though, man. To be honest with you, I don't want. Go in a different direction. I wouldn't mind the AZ collabo.
The AZ
I wouldn't
collabo
mind
be
that.
dope. I don't think call it Illmatic 2, but if he
No,
messed with
no,
the
I
producer,
don't
fuck
even.
no.
I was
Fuck
listen.
no.
I'm gonna keep it
Hell
real.
no.
I was upset with him calling it Stillmatic because at that time he put so much pressure on that album.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I respect
Stillmatic was hard, though.
in retrospect, I respect how confident he was in it. But at the time when I heard the name of the album, I was like,
with that pressure. Stillmatic was hard, though.
I was like,
ain't mad at that.
but it was it was a perfect.
He had to let motherfuckers know that it was still real though.
Yeah,
He was under a
That's
different,
why.
I get
that's
it
why
now,
that
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
he was
still
under a
yeah.
different kind of pressure at
Yeah.
that time, too.
Yeah.
He had a lot
And it
to
was.
prove.
But he took that pressure and was like, you know what? All right,
And
I
he
got
held
you.
it down. I ain't mad at it.
I got you.
I'm not mad at it. So man, his albums, man. Look, so man, for y'all Nas fans talking all this stuff, when Nas albums is on the table right now, man.
Look at
So
that
tell me
collection,
about
man.
your fan. Are you really a Nas fan or not, man? Look at this table right here.
Yeah, I
man.
see it.
So look, so Nas's catalog, man. How many classics would you say Nas has solo wise? And let's just talk about some of his albums, man. What hit different when it came out? Like,
I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. When it was written hit, Jesus,
That was messy,
Christ.
man. I remember that shit.
I just
That joint. It was written, dropped around the time I want to say the Greek festival, right?
yeah.
That's when that joint dropped. Because I remember, like, me, 400, and his cousin Kev. You know Kev.
Listen,
Yo, we went up. Kev had the little motherfucking Nissan with the system in it. I'll never forget it. The Nissan Sentra, and he had the motherfucking banging ass system in it. Brown drink. And we went up to the Greek, and we played this album all night long.
everybody was playing that. Joint.
Yo,
Because
all
when
night long.
When it came on, it was just like it was a continuation of Illmatic. Lyrically, it was like, God damn, like he was in a zone at that
Yo,
point,
man. And he hit all angles.
Oh my,
He
yo,
hit all angles, man. It
the
was
word
melodic.
the wordplay on that,
Oh, man.
it was crazy.
The
Now,
Willieism
Listen.
in him. I think he gained Willie, like
He had
like
to,
the
though.
big Willie type.
he had to.
You know what I'm saying? Like
He was
boss,
it was,
mob, will. Like,
it was external
was-
forces pushing.
Yeah,
that,
yeah. It was something that took over this joint.
you know where he got that from, right?
Oh yeah, he had to.
It was
He had
external.
to.
It was
He had
external
to.
forces.
Nah, I would say for our generation, it's a lot of people. Rest in peace to my baby Taz. Taz would even tell you, a lot of people, and I still think Illmatic is my favorite Nas album, but a lot of people from my generation would say It Was Written.
It Was Written.
Is their favorite
I'm not
Nas
arguing with
album
nobody
because we were there.
It
We
was
were
the
there.
time.
We were actually really in the moment when
Yeah.
It Was Written dropped.
Yeah.
Right. Illmatic was like we was a little too young. We was there. We was a little too when It Was Written dropped. It was like we was right there for the whole drop, and that's why.
Was it because it
and
delivered
that's-
just like you had heard Illmatic
We
and then
heard
it delivered.
Illmatic, and then
written
it was like he dropped what's the single on? If I Ruled the World dropped, and that was big, and then the album dropped, and it was like he delivered. It was like, okay, Nas made Illmatic. What's he gonna do with his second album? And he delivered, and he had pressure because even as critically acclaimed as Illmatic was, he seen Biggie Ray to Die success and was like, look, I want commercial success too. So we kind of
He had an interview with that.
he
kept
kept his lyricism was still there, but he kind of tweaked it a little bit to kind of hit more of the masses, and it worked. It worked, and the album was a classic, and it hit, man. And when It Was Written came out, it was real, man.
Yeah, it was.
it was real.
And Phil, you know, you got us by a few. You know what I'm saying? You and Pito, y'all got us by a few. So that Illmatic is something special to y'all because y'all really got to absorb it.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to absorb it like that. We just knew it was nice.
Nah.
But when It Was Written dropped, it was like it melted on us.
It holds
You know
a
what I'm
different
saying?
place for me because for me, I don't know about you, Peter, but for me, Illmatic was the fact that a guy could deliver that kind of album on his first try, so young, and for it to be that good. It was everything I asked for. It was written, delivered from the standpoint of he didn't drop the ball. For me,
Right.
he didn't drop the ball.
Yeah.
Biggie had just came out. It was like, He didn't drop the ball on it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. That's what that was for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was written, man. It's special, man. That's a special album to us. And for years, I actually would say It Was Written was my favorite Nas album. It wasn't until maybe in the last 10 years where I really was like, yeah, but Illmatic got a cohesiveness to it where I'll give Illmatic the edge. But It Was Written got a special place in my heart.
Sequencing, man. The sequences in Illmatic was just masterful.
Yeah,
bro.
it's just straight. It's just straight to the point. And It Was Written. It got a little. If you trying to like really dissect it, it's a few things where it's a few things where Illmatic don't really have that.
But see that is that the product of, like we talked earlier, too many songs sometimes? Like you gotta hit that note. Go ahead, Freeze. You gotta hit that note. This is the perfect example.
You got
9. Maybe a couple could have went on the floor.
Oh, that definitely, definitely. Nas is coming. Man, go ahead.
That's one of them reaches. Like, all right, Dre the hot guy. At the time.
I get it though. I get it.
It didn't overall. I just think that he found himself where he knew that what he was going to take on being Nas, and It Was Written. You get what I'm saying? Because the introduction to other rappers. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though it came from this real hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, you had AZ, then you Mobb Deep came a little bit because Infamous dropped a little bit before this, right?
No.
It dropped that.
Infamous dropped in 95.
A little bit before this.
Infamous dropped before It Was Written.
Yeah. So you had Mobb in them. You know it came. But I think that It Was Written really took Mobb and them to another level.
Yeah, man.
You get what I'm saying?
It got him a different
I just think
spotlight.
that he found everything that he was as a person and his whole demeanor on how he was going to come at the rap game on It Was Written. That was just me.
I agree. I agree, man. I mean, and then they started off. Nas got a great catalog, man. Legendary catalog. And I remember. I don't think I Am is a classic, but when I Am came out. Like, man, we was in that moment. We was in that moment.
Yeah, even Nostradamus, man. He caught us out there.
I was happy. He came back quick with that.
I got a big issue with that I Am album because the I Am I remember, it's not the same I Am. The original I Am that was going to come out was the double disc, the autobiography, which blew that out of the water. I mean... It continued, as crazy as it sounds, it continued It Was Written run perfectly. I Am took off kind of like a super like commercial album because external forces. Okay, I did that. Now they saw what I did when It Was Written. They doing this. Okay, now I got to get bigger.
Yep.
And then it got bootlegged. And that's when it kind of went left. You got some songs taken off. The album got shorter. You had some more commercial records put on. And then you got the I Am that we know now. But the good thing is we actually going to get that.
Yeah, that's dope. That I ain't never really heard that happen before. They're actually going to release, before the end of the year, they're going to release the actual I Am autobiography double album. That's dope. That's dope.
Because I Am is really that I Am
and the Lost Tapes.
You know what I mean? Drunk by Myself, Project Windows, Blaze of 50.
No, Project Windows is down.
Nah, that's actually on there. If I'm not mistaken.
But Project Windows was on.
I'm sorry, not that.
That's on Notre Dame.
Papa Was a Player.
Oh, Papa Was a Player.
And what's the one? Belly. What is it?
When the birth one.
Yeah, that one. That's actually the original I Am. And I remember hearing it. Of course, I got it on bootleg, and I probably was part of the problem. I fucked it up. Man, I needed that, man. I needed it. I fucked my man joint up. But that shit, man, that would have been crazy.
Yeah,
man.
Super crazy.
Crazy.
So they're gonna re-release it?
Yeah, they re-releasing it, and I think it's November. Before the end of the year, though, they release.
It's gonna be it's gonna be the original double CD.
So definite Nas classics without any thoughts. What are the Nas classics to you? Without no question. Definite automatic classics, no question.
The three in the front, Stillmatic, Illmatic, It Was Written.
Absolutely.
Life is Good, definitely.
He don't like Life is Good. I don't know why.
I love Life is Good.
I love Life is Good.
And to me,
Nostradamus.
No way.
Nah.
Stop it.
In no way, shape, or form.
No way.
I'll walk off this set.
Stop it.
I love Nas to death.
What's that one with the hoodie?
That's
That's
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus. That's not a
No,
classic.
No. Nostradamus is this one.
Nah, that's
No, I am.
This I am.
Yeah, that's I am.
I am.
Okay, that's what I meant.
You think I am's a classic?
Yeah.
I think I am.
I agree too.
I think I am.
I agree
good.
with you,
What's
Pito.
that one over there?
That's Nostradamus and
Nostradamus.
Street Disciple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
I thought this was Nostradamus based off of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, Phil, I think without a question, Illmatic, It Was Written, and Stillmatic, and Life Is Good are definite classics to me.
This is a classic.
Nasir, no, thank you.
No way, shape, or form.
No, thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead
And I know it's new. I know it's new.
Don't forget
I know
about
it's
that one.
new, but I like Magic One, man.
Absolutely.
I like Magic One.
Magic
I'm
One
I
is
like
on
Magic
my
One
list.
like
gonna
that.
slide
Absolutely.
Magic One in there because
I
it's
gave.
short.
I mean, I love it.
I think
It's
I gave
short.
it. I think I gave it. We gave it.
You gave it 5. I gave it 4.5. I gave it
Okay, I gave it
4.5.
5.
But I'm gonna slide that in there. I think it's short and it get right to the point, and it's
Definitely.
like, and it gets.
I
to
like
the-
King.
that.
I like King Disease one.
I like King.
I
Disease
love
one.
King-
can't
I love
give it a
KD
I
one.
can't give it a
That
classic
was-
though, but I like it. Though.
That's
I
my
like
favorite KD. One.
That's your favorite KD?
That's my favorite KD. I've been saying it to this day.
And Magic
That's my
one.
Magic One. They my.
So
And,
KD one is good.
I'm putting KD one in the classic form because I had time to grow with it, and I see when it started. It started a trilogy.
In hindsight, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if I rewind back to when he started the Magics and the KDs, the ones was the best ones. And I put them in that classic range. But I agree with y'all except for
So-
Life Is Good.
So can we say that at least one KD and one Magic is a classic?
Absolutely.
Okay, because
To
you're
me.
gonna argue which. Because I think they, to me, and this is just my opinion, I think they so closely packed in terms of
Yeah.
where they are that I'm not mad at anybody that picks. I definitely think it's one classic in each series.
Okay, I go with that. I'm gonna have a different one than y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the
Absolutely.
KD, but I agree with.
We
I
needed-
go with that.
You got to really look at it. We needed that KD one after that 444. We needed something from him.
Yeah, I think it's a byproduct. The reason that is so closely packed to me is because the byproduct of how long how quick they came out,
they was
and the
rapid
period in
fire.
which they was.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had the clip load. He was.
Yeah,
You know what I
Just
mean?
letting off.
Let me
Yeah,
ask
he's
you
letting
this:
off.
do you think Nas is listening to like everything that Jay-Z is doing, and
Yes.
he tries
Absolutely.
to come out
Why
with
not?
another album
Yes.
to top
Why
it?
not?
Yeah.
No. I'm
not gonna say
listen to everything. The other way around.
Not just Jay-Z. I think Nas pays attention to the game. Obviously, if you listen to his Hit Boy Nas albums, just some of the flows he messed with, some of the sounds he pays attention. I ain't saying it's just Jay-Z, but he pays attention to the game.
Yeah.
It's a
Absolutely.
weird trend going on. Like I remember they pointed out on the
yeah,
internet
that he drops an album every
time Nas drops, Jay drops something.
Yeah,
So it's the exact
yeah.
opposite of what you said. It's
Yeah.
weird.
But
like,
they both spoke
yin and
on
yang.
that.
They
They
yin and
both
yang,
spoke.
though.
Yeah, they yin and yang.
To
And
me-
they both spoke on that because
Iron sharpens iron, man.
Like when you think of these type artists like Jay-Z, Nas, say for instance, off of hip hop, Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, and them type people, their albums are already well calculated in the year. So the way Nas drops, it make people feel like that because Nas just drops. He don't have no.
He ain't always
He not
just drop.
doing no rollouts like
He
that.
ain't always just
He
drop.
not. He haven't. But when he was doing it, he was. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing with that. But besides that, I think it's a good look.
All right, so what do y'all say about the stigma that Nas picked bad beats his whole career?
I'll tell you directly where that came from. Because at the time, you got the super producers going on, right? Mm-hmm. And some of the beats that he picked from them was like bottom of the barrel. So it created that stigma. It's a legitimate stigma at a specific time. Because you figure between what? All right, I'll give you an example. Between, let's say, 97 to 2005, 2003, you got Pharrell, Timbaland, Swizz, all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you compare the beats that they gave other rappers and the beats that he picked.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, meanwhile, Jay gets Big Pimpin', you picked, the one that was off Nostradamus joint. You know what I mean? With Genuine. While it was a good club record, it's like you like
Freak's joint right there.
you're like what?
That's Freak's joint to be dancing all
that
over
was
the
your
place.
boy.
You're like what?
You know that was your boy Pony.
You know what I'm saying? You're like hold on, man. Yeah, you're like what the
Bro,
fuck?
dancing all over the place, man.
I'm like, hold on, man. It's not that he was a bad beat picker. It's just with what's available, and you like,
Nah, that's a good point.
How did you get that from him? And then meanwhile, Jay running around with "Hey Poppy," you know what I mean? It's that
That's a
because
good.
you got.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah,
That's a
man.
good.
I'm
That's
like,
a good
what
point
the
because
fuck?
overall I don't think his beats are that
No.
bad. But I do think now you say that like he got joints with Swiss beats that nobody really know about, and then like Jay-Z got like "Jigga My Nigga."
Jay-Z
like,
got the hammer.
hits, and then
That's
like,
because
Pharrell got
Jay-Z
the-
is more radio than Nas. So Nas couldn't rock on those.
Nah, but he obviously tried though because you pick certain records from them producers. You went to them.
Even the Timberland song, like that Timberland song, even though it's not people's favorite, it's a hit for Nas.
Yeah.
But it's not like
It's a nice record.
Timberland's joint he did for Jay. Like it don't hit like that, like with people. Like and if Big Pimpin' come on, it's going to be a different energy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a good point. That's a good point. But I don't think overall, like the totality of his beats, I don't think his beats is like that whack. Like go with that.
He just got a lot of. Put it this way, if you rating beats from 1 to 10, he picked a lot of like 6s and 5s. He picked a couple 6s and 5s out of it.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, and it might have to do with his personality and him saying, well, because he alluded
He
to
didn't
it
really
before.
care.
Right.
He don't care.
But as a fan,
He do what he wanna do.
I'm like, because I'm trying. Listen, I'm a fan. I'm trying to keep pace with what's going on over here. I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, and I think he got a little too cocky and comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because
I can make anything.
he was getting real lenient with shit. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit right here became lenient.
Oh, no,
You know what I'm saying? This was lenient.
Godson.
You
Oh,
feel me?
nah. Whoa.
That shit was lenient.
Godson was alright.
That shit was lenient.
Godson was
That shit
alright.
was lenient,
It wasn't
man.
whack.
Hold on, man.
It
Godson
wasn't
was
whack.
alright.
I'm just saying
Hold
it was
on.
lenient.
Godson was alright.
Hip hop is dead joint. That shit was
If
lenient.
I was there, got some joints
He
too.
start getting real lenient. Like he
started
wasn't
getting
in,
stubborn.
He was he wasn't
Like, I'm
wasn't
gonna do
in
it
his
my
dog
way and that's
bag.
it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
he
it my
wasn't-
way and that's it.
Yeah, and so
I don't need them.
that spark of come on, man. I'm attacking this nigga. Even if it was strategic by him to bring the best out of him, I think he just fell in a little comfortable mode. Like
It was after
he could
Stillmatic,
continue
too.
to do the
It was
the
right
dumb
after
shit.
Stillmatic.
You know
It was
what
right
I'm
after
saying? It was
Stillmatic.
like, nah.
Well, it started with I Am to me, where I felt like he was trying to really navigate. He couldn't never see.
But
that's
I Am
what-
was good though.
I Am was
It
good.
was
I was
good.
happy with I Am, but I Am is where he was really, really trying to see. I feel like Nas struggles to me. I feel like he struggles when he tries to tackle that Biggie lane of when Biggie balanced the radio songs with the hip hop joints. I feel like Nas could never really do that. Nas
He's not
is-
the flashy flamboyant.
and then Jay-Z,
It looks that way.
Jay-Z mastered that style too, and Nas could never really tackle it, and he always tried. So you got like I Am, and then Nostradamus, and even Godson, where he was trying to like balance it, and it's just not him.
Because you got them pressures. You Nas. You gotta have some. You gotta make some hits.
Yeah.
Right.
We need hits. Nas is like, you
but
know
his
what I mean?
type of lyrics is not going to make hits.
It's not.
His content.
It's not.
That's why Jay-Z and them could rock on Timberland and all that.
Because theirs is more
They ain't
flow
really
approach.
talking
Theirs
about
is a lot of
nothing.
flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not saying nothing,
They
though.
might hear the beat and be like, all right, and flow off the beat. Where his is more, I'm
Nas is
gonna
gonna write it
I'm gonna
down.
write my joint down and try to fit it to the beat. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
It's easier. It was easier for them, or they made it look
But it's the
easier.
content.
Put it that way.
Jay-Z is just slick at the mouth. He's
Right.
not really spitting what Nas is.
So is Nas. It's Nas slick out the mouth too. It's just that
No. I don't mean Nas is slick at the mouth, but means something. Jay-Z is just drug rap. You get what I'm saying?
I don't say that.
It
But I
depends-
understand. I understand what you're saying.
I see what you're saying, but it depends on. You're talking that from your perspective, but to the streets, they'll tell you that Jay-Z was speaking their language all the way.
Yeah.
Like to the hustlers,
From the rip.
that just wasn't listening.
Yeah,
to that.
yeah. And
So-
not only that, you wasn't in that life then. No disrespect, But when you're actually in that life and you hearing that shit over record,
Here's a perfect
it's
example.
totally different.
Here's a perfect example. I don't really feel Jeezy like that.
I hate Jeezy.
I don't really feel Jeezy. But there is a sector of niggas that swear by that Jeezy run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that run, I'm more of like
But
a
see,
T.I.
get this,
fan.
get this
Jeezy not a
feel. Get
rapper.
this feel though. Freaks loves Jeezy. But see, also, I was in Atlanta when Jeezy dropped. So Jeezy and T.I. mean something different to me than they
I'm
were.
more of a T.I. guy.
Than they were to y'all.
Yeah.
But when you were actually
there.
when you were in Atlanta,
Actually in it.
But T.I. raps.
See, and
Jeezy don't. He's
see,
a
and
hype
my
man.
thing was
Jeezy had it on lock in Atlanta,
See-
but I was in Atlanta when he dropped. I was
See-
in Atlanta when T.I. dropped, so they hit different.
Right.
and listen,
that's
Well, by proximity.
Carl, I was in the southern atmosphere. I was in Virginia.
Right.
So you got these guys, like because the people that I used to deal with when I was in school, they was from the hood, they was from the streets, but they just happened to be going to school. So if you was in Richmond, yeah, all right, I'm going to college. Fuck it, I'm gonna go to Petersburg. You get what I'm saying? They the people that I hung around, and I was hearing that Jeezy. Well, I ain't gonna even start on Jeezy. I was hearing that T.I. early. I mean, I actually brought that T.I. back to CB Dub. I'm telling you, like, yo, man, y'all got to listen to this, he nice. And it wasn't even, I'm serious. It wasn't even, I'm serious. It was his best album than me. You feel me?
Trap music.
Trap music.
Trap music
His
was the
best.
shit.
You feel me?
Trap music was the shit.
And when I heard how thorough and how clean that was, that whole album was like, that's what made me go back to I'm serious. You get what I'm saying? And I found out where, boom, boom, where it came from. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I'm serious. I only like 3 to 4 joints on there. You know what I'm saying?
What
He
is
matured
I'm
as an
Serious?
artist.
His first album, T.I. first
His,
album.
his first album I like was Trap.
But that
Music.
Jeezy,
He matured tremendously
That
between those two.
Jeezy run, it took over. I mean, it was saturated. I mean, you was getting saturated with that.
Yeah, see, Pito, you wouldn't understand, and I'm not trying to compare Nas and Jeezy as far as like lyricism, but when I was in Atlanta, the movement behind what he was talking about, it just hit different because I was there and I actually heard and seen his presence, and it was heavy. And T.I. was already out, but still he was like popping. But in Atlanta, to be there and to see it really, see it and feel it, it was different, man. It was different. Now, if I was just up here the whole time that Jeezy dropped, I probably wouldn't understand as much. But I was there. Like he had it on lock.
It was a different. It was a different. It was a different type look.
He had it on smack.
It was a different type
He was
look.
running everything, man, and like everybody felt it. Like even if I heard E say one time, like he's like, man, I ain't like Pac like that, but everybody was bumping Pac so much that I had to like it. And Jeezy was like, if you didn't feel him, like you was going to feel him if you was there, like you had to, because it was just it was everywhere. Right. He was everywhere, man. But so back to Nas. So how many classics would you say Nas got? He got 17 solo albums. How many of them would you say is classic to you?
As a Nas fan, I don't put it this way. My biased opinion. I'm trying to be non-biased. I'm gonna give you at least 5. He got 5.
I'm gonna say the same thing. 5.5, 6, because I'm giving
I say 6.
because me, I don't know about everybody else. I love the Firm album. When that dropped, I'm telling you, when that joint dropped, that joint was crazy.
You call it a classic though?
Man, that was man.
I can't call it a classic because
that album impacted me at the time.
I get it.
It's time. It's time with me when you hit me with music. It's the time what I'm going through, what's going on.
But a classic to me is, standing the test of time now.
Yeah.
When the last time you heard that album?
In its entirety.
The whole album?
When you listen to it in entirety. Not
it probably was probably 2 to 3 months. Probably 2 to 3 months.
So when
it's hard to find that album too.
When I look at
on streaming.
I mean, when I look at an album, I look at it like I get that inkling of, damn, I want to hear that right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And I bang it, and I go a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the time, it could hit, but I don't want the newness of it to make it a classic.
Yeah,
you want
exactly.
You want to let that thing marinate and sit and see if it can stand the test of time. Because that's really, to me, a big determiner on a classic. Can it stand a test? Does it sound? You remember your feeling, but at the end of the day, the music is going to be the music. That time capsule is going to go away. It's going to be 20 years later. Is it still a classic?
Right.
And for me, I'm trying to be non-biased with it. The sound of 5 of these albums, at the very least, to me, is classic. It's timeless classic.
I'm gonna say remove the bias. I'm gonna say definitely 6 probably. I could probably reach a little bit, but I think that would be just off my stuff I like. But I'm gonna go with 6. I was bumping the Firm heavy, but I feel like looking back at the Firm album, I feel like they dropped the ball a little bit. I feel like it could have been better. It could have been better.
Yeah, I can
it could have been better, and I feel
The big headness of everybody.
And I feel like Drake should have been a little more involved.
Yeah, they could have gave him more better.
And then Cormega left the group and Nature came in, so it was a change right before the album came out.
I think.
Do you think that was for the better though? You think that Cormega would have did better than Nature?
I rock with Nature, but I mean Cormega was their original vision though.
Yeah.
So they had original vision for the
Nature.
group.
So who knows what that album would have sounded
I agree.
like. But I'll say this though, I think Nature killed it.
Nature was
for
nice.
Nature.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
He definitely killed it.
Yeah.
But I would have been interested to find out what the original sound, because it may be songs off the cutting room floor.
Right.
You know what I mean? That didn't make it because Mega was on it.
We might hear that coming up.
Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, think of Affirmative Action off It Was Written. That was the original that was the original sound that they wanted. They was thinking of the
Shit,
Firm
and then
was gonna
even that album, that song changed because Cannabis was on that song originally. This was on that song, so that song changed. So there's a lot going on with that album. There's a lot going on with that album that kind of like makes me wonder. One of those big what ifs.
It was a what if. It was a lot of what could have been for that album. I like the premise of it. I like the goal that they was going out to get. I just don't feel like, and I feel like they rushed it too. I feel like they rushed it.
To your point, why didn't Dre have more of a hand on it? You know what I mean?
That's a great question.
He probably wasn't allowed to.
No, I just feel like Dre was kind of just letting them do their thing. Like, all right, I'm gonna do my couple songs.
Yeah,
I'm
he
an executive producer.
He didn't know how to. It was crazy because
he's the first artist to work with Dre from over here.
It's sort because it's sort of like, all right, they ran Dre from over there.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah, that was that period.
You get what I'm saying? That
was that period.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, well, I'm with New York now, so I don't want to give them too much, or I don't want them to think that I'm trying to take over too much.
What was his label at the time?
Aftermath.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that Dre touched on there is banging.
It's
like
crazy.
all of it is banging. That's what I'm saying. I wish he was involved a little more. And I'm
Even
not
on that.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something.
I don't like that.
Somebody
Nas,
made a
you don't like that? What?
What?
Oh my goodness! You didn't like how that joint banged?
I wasn't a big fan of Nas's
Wow.
coming, man.
Nas is
coming.
I didn't like that either.
Nah.
And the
And
black limo.
Jack
Daniels through the back.
I was just about to
Come
say
on,
somebody
man.
made a joke about
I
that.
didn't like
I was
that.
like, wait a minute. That shit was.
Oh
listen,
my
listen,
goodness!
I did
Listen.
not like that. Nas is coming. I didn't like how
You
that.
might not have liked the
I
sound,
didn't like
but
how. I
Nas
didn't like.
killed it.
I didn't like-
It was a
Nas
Dre. It was
killed
a Dre type
It
joint.
was that
killed-
sinister Dre beat.
Cohesively, I didn't like how that fit in the album. It kind of broke it up to me. I don't-
And that was one of them things.
Nas was
that
ripping it.
I
Nas was ripping it lyrically.
Oh, he ran it.
But I don't like how the total song sounds with the album wise. Like that broke it up to me. It
Wow.
broke it up.
It sounded like sticking
I've been said this.
to you. It sounded like just sticking a West Coast song on Nas album.
Like make it work. Make it work. I ain't saying
it
you
is.
can have
But he
different
did correct it though on the Firm, because
The
now you
Firm-
got phone tap.
Yeah,
and all
those
that.
are bangers.
Yeah,
Those
he
are
made it work.
heaters. Like the Nas is coming.
It was a different
But
sound.
Nas was running the song. Don't get it twisted. He was
Killed
running
that,
the song.
and that
Oh, it ain't Nas' fault.
And that beat is crazy.
Did Dre do Got Yourself a Gun?
No.
Nah, that was Will I? Was that no? Who was that?
Nah, Dre didn't do that.
Nah, that
though.
was.
It sounded like a Dre though.
That might have been
it's not Dre,
Salam Remy.
It may have been.
Let me look that
Salam
up.
Remy. But nah, Dre didn't do that for sure. Though.
He definitely didn't do that.
So that you kind of alluded to that a little earlier, Pito. But the battle between Jay-Z and Nas, where Nas was at that time, what did the battle with Jay-Z? What did that do for Nas?
It opened me back up. It was like smelling salt. That's how I look at it.
Megahertz.
Because
Megahertz.
yo, Because really look at it. Look where we was getting up until that point. You get what I'm saying? And like you said, like, I Am was a good album, but it was like, you get what I'm saying? From what we got from Nas. So I think that was like smelling salt, man. I thought, like, and what he was saying was really not wrong. Coming off Illmatic, and it was written.
That was a dark time for me.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. It wasn't really wrong what he was saying.
I'm gonna be real with you. It was a dark time.
you feel what I'm saying? And
it was a dark time for me, man.
And he wasn't dropping like he wasn't dropping like that either.
It was smelling salt, but you know he came to spank, and
yeah, he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah,
I have a little of an unpopular opinion on this subject. I think the battle with Jay-Z did way more for Nas than it did for Jay-Z. I don't really feel. I feel like how the battle impacted Jay-Z. It taught him that he wasn't Teflon Don. Like I felt like he thought
that was the first time we saw him miss that.
I feel like he thought he could not be touched, and that was the first time where the people said, "Nah, bro. Jay," and that
slow the fuck down.
And that really hit him, like his ego, like, damn, y'all ain't rocking with me.
Because then he dropped Super Ugly.
Yeah, because
so you could tell it got him emotional.
Yeah, so he got emotional with the response to Super Ugly, and I feel like it really let Jay know, like, Jay, everything you do ain't right. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, musically, he still made classics. He still made hit songs.
It was the first misstep.
But also, after such of a huge landslide victory, now you got Nas crying and shit now. So it was like, all right, I did this, but why am I going back to be crying and I'm on the radio, I'm complaining about this person. Flex is ugly. Nori had to do his verse.
He did go on a cry.
He went on Cam. He went on.
He went Nori.
What's going on?
Because you know what that stemmed from? Nah, what it was he wanted the same kind of respect because he was going to do a lynching at the Summer Jam, and they wouldn't let him do it. And the radio station wouldn't let him do it. So he was like, "Hold on, man, I'm going to go over to the other radio station, and I'm gonna let this clip go."
He started, I'm
gonna let this clip go.
And then he was like, he just was noticing everything that was going on. And this when I knew, I said, all right, he focused in on New York right now. He's not traveling. He's locked in on New York because he's listening to everything. From when the Young Guns was dissing, he listening to that. Freeway, he listening to all this shit after he won, but it just seemed like he fell apart.
Well, he let everything out at that point, man, because you got to remember, at that point, he was, I don't want to say falling off, but he wasn't favored at that point.
I'm glad you say that as a Nas fan, because when I say that, they get mad at me. Nas he wasn't like making everything hot at this time.
Yeah,
I don't know why Nas fans get so offended.
No, he wasn't.
Everything he dropping was not hot.
As a big fan,
that's why that stuck out like that. You feel what I'm saying?
As a big fan, man, like this was kind of like when he dropped that, man, it was the biggest sigh of relief because I remember a friend of mine, man, she called me when Takeover dropped and laughed at me for like 10 minutes, bro. Laughed at me.
Takeover was hard.
And I'm listening. I'm listening to Takeover like, damn.
What's going to happen?
Damn. And the weight. And what made me feel better was he did an interview in The Source when he was on the cover right before Stillmatic came out.
Yeah.
And he says something in there where he was like, it was almost to the point like it was the Cheshire Cat. Like he knew something we ain't know. You know what I mean? Right. And I picked that up from it. I was like, yo, son, get ready to deliver. He get ready to deliver. And then when that motherfucker came out.
Yeah, it was messy.
Man, I remember running out the crib. Let's go. Yo, it was, for me, it was
crazy. First of all, Takeover was hard, but it was only a verse. It was only one verse.
Because like you said, he wasn't
the whole song.
It
wasn't the whole song.
He was caught, but see, people, a lot of times, and then another thing, people don't remember the chronological order of that battle, too. The chronological order of that battle was Bleak lighting the fuse.
Yep.
Nas threw one at Bleak. Jay did the Summer Jam. Nas dropped that Stillmatic freestyle when he
Yep,
dissed
when
the whole crew.
whole
People
Rockefeller.
forget about that.
Yeah, it was over the Rakim. The
Yes.
pay
Yeah,
of
he
Stillmatic
beats fast.
freestyle.
Hit the
Yeah.
freeway, he beats fast.
That joint, like people forget about that. Like people like to glaze over that.
So
And
Takeover actually was coming after
Yeah.
the Stillmatic freestyle.
And when you look at it in chronological order, it looks worse because you responding to that, and now Stillmatic is responding to Takeover, and now you drop Super Ugly, which
He should have fell back.
Now it's an interesting.
chilled.
It's for hip hop fans. There's some interesting dialogue in between this that happened. First of all, Nas recorded the first version of Ether, and they didn't like it, and they told him to go back and record it again. As a hip hop fan, I would like to hear what the
Whoever
first
did that
version sounds like, but they told him, "Nah, this ain't it. Go
it's
re-record."
a lot of urban legends about the original.
But let me
Ether.
get this out real quick. Because Ether made that album. That album is good, but it wasn't on that. It
Hold on.
It wasn't that strong. To
I
me,
love when
man.
people say that.
I'm just being real. I'm just being real.
I love when people
It was
say
good
that.
songs on there, but it still didn't hold me over.
So hold on.
As of him really fully coming back.
I love when
That's
people
just
say
me.
that.
That's just me.
I don't agree
I
with that.
love when
I don't
people
agree-
say
I don't
that.
agree
Hey
with
Because
Phil,
when
Phil, I done went through that album
Listen.
front and back, man. Trust me.
This is like in my lifetime.
What, volume one?
No,
In terms of-
I take this over in my lifetime.
listen,
volume
listen,
one.
hear me out.
Go
Hear me
ahead.
out. Hear me out. People often forget about In My Lifetime Volume 1, and they forget about the hammers on that joint.
Yeah.
When you run down the
You know
track
what?
listing,
You know what made In My Lifetime Volume 1 so much better? When Streets is Watching came out.
that could be true.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that album had terrible sequencing.
Yeah,
Because
it
they
did.
had two very
It did.
terrible singles.
It
Yes.
did. It did.
Very terrible.
Terrible
It did.
singles. The
Very
City
good.
Is Mine was terrible, but actually in today's hip hop,
It's all right. It's
it'll
all
probably
right.
be
It'll probably be
all
good, yeah.
And
Sunshine.
I know what girls like.
That was
Yeah.
terrible. That wasn't even
And
a single.
Sunshine.
That wasn't a single.
That wasn't even
But
a
I
single.
mean,
It was
those
just
three
terrible.
songs,
Yeah.
those three songs
Yeah.
drug the album down because the
Right.
album would ride and then you'll hear that song, and then the album would ride and then you hear that song. But when you go through the songs on the album, you got Stillmatic, you got Ether, Smoking, You the Man, Rewind.
I already know, bro.
Classic.
Rewind
I know.
is probably one of the most creative songs ever.
I understand that.
Second
Second Childhood is great.
Destroy and Rebuild.
Destroy and
The
Rebuild.
Flyers with AZ.
The Flyers.
The first time they had been on a record, like as far as the back and forth.
I understand.
Come on, man. The only one
It's that,
Braveheart party.
it's that Braveheart
That's
party.
it.
That's all you can take.
That's
That
it.
you take that
Man,
Braveheart
listen.
party. I like everything.
It didn't have that stench to me. It didn't have that stench
I disagree
for
with
what.
you.
I understand.
I feel you though. I
feel you,
ain't
you know
gonna
what
argue you.
I
there.
think still, and mind you, I think Blueprint is a better album than Stillmatic, but
I do too.
But I think Stillmatic is a classic.
Yeah, I think-
only song I don't like is the Braveheart Party. Everything else, I feel like now maybe Illmatic brought more. I mean, maybe Ether brought more attention to it,
Yeah.
but
Whatever
the
it
song,
takes.
the song wise and lit that battery. Like I think Jay lit the battery to him, and he like went with it. And I definitely think I have a little different point of view. I think Nas won the battle. I don't think he won the war though.
I think he survived the battle. He didn't have to win the war. He survived the battle with the biggest artist at that time
Yeah.
that everybody thought he was going to kill him. And the fact that he survived it, because think about it. Rick Ross didn't win the battle with 50. He just survived it. Because at the time, 50 was gunning everything down moving.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't kill Ross, you don't got to win. It's hip hop. You just got to fight back.
If I'm comparing this to boxing, like everybody was thinking Jay was going to be the favorite at that time because based
wasn't
off
no think.
based off his run, and I think Nas came out and hit him with an uppercut and knocked him against the ropes because everybody be like, "Yo, Nas killed Jay." Nah, I think he knocked Jay against the ropes real good. Like he.
I
Was
think
great.
he won a decision. He won a decision.
But it ain't finish him, dog. Like he won he won that battle for sure. But the war wise, like it ain't stopped Jay's. It just really just showed Jay that like you everything you drop ain't
Well, wait.
right.
That's another conversation. But There was a dead moment there for Jay because what we got after that was what album was that? That didn't necessarily hit the mark.
Blueprint 2.
That hit the mark for you?
No, Blueprint 2 was too many songs. It should have been one album.
And you saw the anger. You saw the anger Jay had on that album.
Now,
he was angry on that.
His
album.
response.
He addressed it again.
His response.
He addressed it again.
He was angry.
He was supposed to.
His response to Nas was dope, but it was too late on that album. Nobody wanted to hear it at that point. But I think the songs were on Blueprint 2. He just put too many songs out. He was trying to do the Biggie double album thing, and it just didn't hit.
That's tricky, man.
It just didn't hit. But I mean, the songs were.
I felt the same way about this double album. You know what I'm saying? It was oversaturated. You know what I'm saying? But
what's that?
This was my
Street
joint.
Disciple?
This was my joint.
There's
As
some joints
far
on there,
as
though.
you know what I'm saying? He
There's
got
some
some
shit on
real.
there.
He got a lot of shit on here. And
Shit on there. It's just to me, it's kind of like one of them things where
And then Thief's Theme is like one of them joints, man, that'll forever.
He did his Nas thing, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
Just threw some shit together. He didn't
Yeah.
care how it was sequenced. Nigga, you gonna
He
like
just
it.
wanted to get his double album off. The Biggie double album,
he didn't get it
the
off
Jay-Z
here.
double album.
Yeah,
So he said, man, I got to do this double album thing. These guys did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that battle brought. I don't know if Nas. I don't know what would have happened if that battle didn't happen. I think Nas would have still made good music. I don't know if he would have. If it would have brought him back into
lit the fire
the
in
spotlight like that, but it definitely lit the fire, and I love it because it brought that Stillmatic back. Now, Nas, man, as an entrepreneur, he been thriving lately in the game with his business deals and Mass Appeal Records. But for his overall career, how would you describe Nas and his entrepreneurial lane? Because it wasn't always like that.
It was quiet.
Yeah.
It was quiet, man. And you know, it just now blew up like we say like the last
4 or 5 years.
like 5 years.
Yeah,
we really started talking about him like
he really
like
started
the
now.
ring shit because we didn't know nothing about it. So
Tech
you know it
investors,
just
tech investment. I think he got a piece of Lyft. One of them.
Yeah.
He got it on the ground floor.
yeah.
One of them.
And for him to be so business savvy and for the things that he invested in and the things, it was very smart. But we never seen that part coming. You know what I'm saying? And
'Cause we always
I just
look at
think
Jay.
that he did his thing.
We always look at Jay and
Yeah.
Jay's,
Because it was more exposure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nas is quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Nas is a late bloomer, but he went on a hell of a run lately.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
But see,
Absolutely.
I think Nas. The thing about Nas, I think Nas was in artist mode in the beginning when everybody else was doing record labels and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
Nas really just wanted to
He
be
was
an
still-
artist.
yeah.
But he was doing Ill Will thing because that's what everybody else was doing. But
Yeah.
his heart was really
It wasn't in it.
because I think Nas has some dope artists. Like I think Nature was dope. Like I think Nature was dope. I think even when he had to do Quan, I thought Quan was
Quan
dope.
was alright,
dope.
yeah.
Honestly, if Nas was really in that mental, everything after him that came from Queensbridge should have came through him. If he was in that right,
That wasn't him.
And I
though.
still
that wasn't him.
And it's still, and let's be real, it's still not him. He just know the right people to put in position
'Cause
that for them to go.
Think about Dave East.
Yeah.
He ain't exactly pushing Dave East
Yeah,
like
he
that.
not- he
Like,
not
but
doing
Dave East is kind of pushing himself. But
Yeah, but he
put
put
him
him in
on.
position. He knew what he probably could do. Like, yo, I'm gonna get you there, but I see something in you that I know I ain't gonna have to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Rock you to sleep, burp you, and all that. You just go. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Dave East
And I
dope.
just think that's one of them situations. And I don't think that nobody else that he brought out is kind of in that lane.
Yeah.
Like Jungle and them wasn't in that lane because they wasn't really
he
artists
ain't
like
a rap.
that. You know
Jungle
what I'm
was
saying?
never a rapper.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, boom.
But
You feel me?
Nature was nice. He just I
He had
just feel
some
like
personal
I
issues,
just feel like but I
Yeah.
feel like Nas was an artist and Nas wasn't really focusing on like grooming artists. Like you had to really be super independent and get your own self popping. And Nature needed like a little more attention. The skill was there.
That's what I respect a lot about Biggie and Jay and them, because while they was doing their thing, even more with Biggie with the whole Junior, because like Junior Mafia was terrible.
yeah,
he was.
they was his boys.
Biggie was
They
right
wasn't,
there.
they wasn't rappers.
Yeah,
They
like-
was
But for
boys.
him, the vision that and
Yeah.
for him to write, you know what I'm saying? For other motherfuckers, that's major.
And here's the kicker, though. He would have been responsible for Cam.
Yeah. Cam was next.
Think about that, though.
Yeah.
So I just don't think Nas is a rapper, man.
Yeah,
like,
he's
Nas
a
is
rapper.
a rapper.
He was a rapper.
Bro.
He
Like,
wasn't worried about
You,
being a,
this what I do, man. Let
The
me
business,
Let me
the business
rap.
shit. The business shit. I want to say the business part of him kind of picked up after his marriage was over. To me, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I thought that he started doing more business things then. But we didn't really know it until they start bringing it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's so quiet.
He probably matured as a person around that time, man. Because you have that type of thing happen.
It changes your life.
It'll change you.
Yeah,
because
it
you start
changes
getting a
for the
little bit
better,
more
yeah.
introspective. You got another kid.
Yeah.
So that's why with him, you give him a mic, man. Let him go. He's not what they were. Unfortunately, he's in that class, but he's just not what they were from that particular aspect.
Yeah.
He's a rapper.
Because if he was, I mean,
It was there.
Imagine Mob and Capone and Noriega and even Nature, all of them coming out under him, but
They supposed to.
He wasn't. That would have been dope. For real.
He should have been. That Queensbridge album should have spearhead him into a whole different
And that's one of my
stratosphere.
I love that album.
You know what I'm saying?
I
But
love
it
that
just-
album.
It was just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna do this.
I think
like
some
you
of
said.
Prodigy's best work is on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prodigy was a problem.
He was a problem on the album.
It was a problem,
And
but
then he's not. I don't think he got that personality to be like a leader.
nah.
He don't.
He's not a leader. Like fall behind. Fall in line.
Yeah.
Because he's not. He don't got that
He
personality.
like, nah, let's go, man. We going together.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
let's go. That's all.
He ain't got that persona in him.
Nah, he definitely don't. But I mean, he winning right now, man. Everything he seemed to touch with the investments is winning. The mass appeal with the documentaries, man. Like
Absolutely,
the Supreme
Brody.
Team
Absolutely.
and all
Absolutely.
them documentaries is dope. The
Absolutely.
Get Down.
the
The Get
Bismarcky, the Get Down. They behind the Rap City, the new Rap City documentary. They behind all of that, man. So the documentary content is dope that they putting out. Dave East is moving, but the mass appeal thing kind of moves on its own. It's kind of moving itself, but he definitely winning, man. The lift, the ring, all the investments. He can get
He got the
restaurants.
He get money. Yeah, he got the restaurant. What's it called? Sweet
Chicks.
Sweet
Sweet
Chicks.
Chicks,
Like
yeah.
he got like 3-something locations.
He's doing his thing, man.
He
Came a
definitely
long
But
way.
that mass appeal and what he's doing, like these documentaries and shit,
That's dope.
It's going to a different level, and I really love him in that lane because you get more from him. You get what I'm saying? You get him talking more because Nas ain't really fuck with motherfuckers like they ain't talk too much. You feel me? So when you see him doing these documentaries and he's on there and he's producing, he's actually talking to them. I just think that it takes it to another level, and he's touching shit that people not even thinking about touching with these documentaries.
Right. All right, top 5 Nas albums. Top
Real
5
quick, I
Nas.
can do this real quick. From the rip, my number 1 album is It Was Written. Number 2 was Illmatic. Number 3, I Am. I still love that album. I kind of still love that album, man. Number 4 is Stillmatic. Damn, and New and Improved, man. New and Improved, man. I gotta go with Magic, man. 1, 5, man. Magic 1, man.
Mine's easy too, though. Number 1, I'm gonna go with Illmatic. Number 2, I'm gonna go with It Was Written. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Stillmatic. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Life Is Good. That's my joint. And number 5, I am gonna slip Magic in there. Magic 1 in there, man. That's my top 5. Thank you. You got the sentence,
I gotta
man. You got
think,
the sentence.
man.
You
I
still
gotta
thinking about
Because
it?
now I don't have to be unbiased. It's just what I like.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you can go. I gotta think about
Number 1 is Illmatic. Number 2 is It Was Written. Number 3 is I Am. 4 Stillmatic. And 5 is Magic 1.
Damn, we got the same list.
And then 6 is Life Is Good. No, you know what? Maybe Life Is Good is better than Magic. Yeah, Life Is Good, then Magic.
Then Magic.
Yeah, Magic's number
So
6.
so your runner up, 6 man off the bench is Magic.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Hey, man,
Yeah, Life Is Good is better than Magic.
I never really got into the Life Is Good like that.
I'm trying to tell you about that.
I know,
Life
man.
Is Good
I
is
know.
grown man.
That's
And I-
444 before 444.
Yeah, grown man listening.
Nah, Life Is Good was dope. I really like that album. That joint dope, man.
I'm gonna go Illmatic. I'm gonna go It Was Written.
Nazir.
Stop it.
Hip Hop is dead.
Go ahead, man. You might as well put it out there, man.
I'm gonna jump out there, man. I'm gonna go.
Don't even worry about that,
I'm
man.
gonna jump out there, man. I'm gonna go Magic 3,
Wow.
Magic 1, and then Stillmatic with number 6 with Life Is Good. I'm a huge fan of the Magic series.
Man, I'm not and I'm not scared or I'm not rebutting that because we grown with Nas. And when you hear something, I understand we heard all this a while ago. But this new shit he dropping is crazy, man.
I'm being
real with you, man.
The KD series has its own place.
Yes, it does,
heart.
man. And I like KD.
I mean? It's different than Magic to me, man, is that boom bap, man. It's
just something about it, man.
It's just you just turn that motherfucker up, man. I'm a fan of all three. Like a lot of people don't like 2. I love 2. I felt like when 2 came out, I said, "Damn, bro,
2 was
this
what
we doing."
2 was I just feel like he was
Bokeem,
experimenting.
Woodbine,
Yeah.
And sometimes
you talking about Magic 2? I thought you were talking about KD.
No, Magic 2. I love KD 2. That's in a different 2.
I don't think they didn't like Magic 2. I didn't think Magic 2 was as bad as they were making Magic 2
to me. It's Magic 3, Magic, and then Magic 2.
I think I was more pissed with Magic 2 because I just heard fucking Hit Boy album. You get what I'm saying? I'm being real with you. I just heard Hit Boy album. He shouldn't have had them beats. Come on, yo, man. Go and listen to that fucking Hit Boy album, man.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Go ahead and listen to that, man.
Just by himself?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that.
2 of them. He dropped 2 of them. Man, go listen to them joints, man. And I guarantee you be fucking upset with Magic 2 and probably KD 2. Real rap.
This is the crazy part about it is though there in the King's Disease series. I think there's some standout songs on there. That's probably some of his best songs.
Absolutely,
I
agree.
King's Disease.
I agree.
That's got some.
I agree.
Overall,
go
pull my coattail on that.
Go to King's Disease 3.
Yeah.
Though it's a lot of songs on there, but he really got some joints.
Carl pull my coattail on that. I gotta give you flowers for that because you made me think about that in a different way when you were saying that. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm a dig it. Because you know when you get time and you love hip hop, you just digging this shit and you already hearing somebody say it. And I was like, yo, man, this nigga got some songs,
I made an A&R version. I call it my A&R version.
You got to send it to him.
It's called Shuffle.
I trimmed the album and I moved some stuff around. I said if he made KD3 this, it would be a classic. Didn't I send that to you?
Yes, you did.
I said it would be,
yes,
and all of them agreed it would be.
Yes, you did.
I just trimmed some stuff.
You got to send it. You got to send it to Phil when you get a chance.
Hey, man, look,
it's called Shuffle, man. I just put some shit you got to put on Shuffle.
The joints is on there. I'm trying to tell you.
Carl cut that joint up. He cut it up.
I said the songs are there. The songs are on this album. Like I'm telling you, man. If he would have made KD3 in the realm that he made, like Magic 1. And just cut the fat off and just got straight to it, it would be a straight, undeniable classic.
Yeah.
The songs are on there, man, for sure.
I'm just impressed with this particular run, man. This run right here.
Ain't nobody doing that.
As a Nas fan, this was special for me.
Yeah, it was.
It almost made me forget. I'm sorry, Carl. This almost made me kind of like forget about just like the older music because I got so much new music now, man. It's like I ain't listening to nothing old. And like,
I want to learn the words of this motherfucker. That's how I'm feeling about, especially Magic 3. I'm like, man, I got to get my words together because this motherfucker is, you know, when you learn the lyrics, man, and you feel them pockets like he feeling and he dropping shit on you because he drops shit on you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he at an age right now, he dropping shit on you. You just got to catch it. Yeah. You feel me? And Magic 3, man, and KD 1 and KD 3 chop version. I'm telling you, I was like, I'm being real with you because I was hard. I was hard on KD3, right or wrong.
Yeah, I told you.
I was hard on it. I was hard on it.
And I started listening to it the way I made it so much that I forgot about the original form of the album because I was like, yo, he nailed this song.
I was like, man, you know what? Because when you sent it, I said, man, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and because I was hard on it, Phil. I'm telling you, I was hard on it.
I love
that. I'm glad you wasn't here. Because me and you would have had a motherfucking shouting match all day.
Listen, I fell in love with it.
I love that album, man.
I fell in love with it out the gate.
All right, so that was a perfect segue, Phil. we about to get into that run. But real quick, before y'all kept on going, after my top 5, just real quick, I got a 6 through 10 real quick. My number 6 is King's Disease 3. My number 7 is I Am. My number 8 is King's Disease 1. My number 9 is y'all might crucify me, but I like Untitled.
Yeah,
I like Untitled,
right.
the nigga album on the low.
Right, yeah.
I rock with that album, man. And number 10, I got Godson, man. That's my top 10 of Nas. But this run that Nas is currently on, man. Some people are calling this the greatest run in hip hop history.
People smart.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
No question.
I'm agree with it, especially after this 6-pack he just gave us. Even though I don't like all the packs, but who fucking does this? Now I'm just being real. If, like Phil said, the only time shit like this was done in this mixtape.
This is insane, man.
I got a general
Like, who does
answer
that?
and then I got a dissected answer. My general answer is nobody has really dropped 6 albums in 3 years.
Let's not just relegate it to the number of albums.
Oh no.
Just the run.
That's where I'm gonna go. That's where I'm gonna go because as far as the 6 albums in 3 years, nobody has done that to this level. That not only people I can think of is people recently like Conway and West Side Gun and maybe
Them
Currency, but the songs aren't hitting like Nas songs. So for that amount of albums in that short period of time, like I only can think of Griselda people, and they're
Conway's special.
Yeah, Conway is special. His just joints ain't hitting like Nas though, but Conway putting out some dope projects. And you know,
This is
but-
no limit production.
but here we go. The word is no
There's
limit.
no
production.
limit output.
But as far as just runs in hip hop in general, I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's the best run because Jay-Z from 1996 to 2003, he dropped the album every year.
Okay.
Every year, fourth quarter.
What's that? What's the time frame?
From 1996 to 2003, he dropped the album. That's not
So that's 7 years, right?
7 years.
How many albums?
An album every year.
How many albums? That's 7 years. That's 7 albums. 7 years, 7 albums.
7 years, 7 albums.
Okay.
An album a year. And that's not saying that's taking out Streets is Watching and all that. I'm just talking about solo albums. So, and I'm not saying that all those out because I don't think every Magic and KB is classic, but it's all good. I like that. It's all solid albums. And I don't think all Jay-Z's albums was classic neither. But they were. It was hits and it was some classics, some good album.
Run? Is there another run?
Yes.
So we got many. So we got those two.
I got many, but the other ones just don't have that many albums.
What are they though? Because it may not hit to you like that, but somebody else might be, listening.
I think Kanye's first 3 albums, Out the Box, is the best first 3 albums of an artist ever.
Wait a minute.
Ever. Yes.
Wait a minute. Why are you just saying 3?
Huh? Oh, I don't like the 4th one.
Dark Twisted Fantasy?
No, Dark Twisted Fantasy wasn't 4 though.
No. You talking?
I'm just talking about they came in order though. College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation came in order. Then he dropped 808 and Heartbreaks. I don't want to throw that in my conversation.
Let me throw this out there.
But I do think Dark Twisted Fantasy is a classic, but it just didn't. It was.
So you saying it's a?
That's a break? But was that run like as close as Nas joint?
Well, we get to that.
They're not going to be as close as Nas.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying,
we gotta
define.
I get what you're saying.
That's why I said in the beginning. I said, but with that amount of albums and in that short period of time, nobody has ever done that.
Exactly.
Now I'm just talking about runs.
Yeah.
I think those 3 albums back to back is the best 3 albums from the first album you ever put out to I think that was the best run. I think Mobb Deep. If you take away their actual first album, I think that that infamous Hell on Earth and
Murder Music
off
topic
was a hell of a run.
For you get away. Think about how good Murder Music would have been if they wouldn't have changed it. As good as it is, think about how good it would have been if they didn't change it.
And it's good. And it's good.
Have you ever heard the original Murder Music?
I ain't heard the original.
I didn't hear the original
Murder Music.
I heard the Murder, but I'm a fan of I'm a fan of the one that I heard.
That's the second album after I Am that got killed, and they had to rework it.
Oh, all right.
So I would love.
But I'm not mad at that rework.
Oh, nah. I would love to get a Havoc re-release of the original Murder Music. God.
Another great run, freaks. Your guy. Another great run. 3 albums. Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, Machiavelli.
Yeah.
That's a great 3-album run,
Absolutely.
man. That's a great 3-album run. And Nas got a run that ain't bad neither.
DMX too.
Illmatic, it was written in IM. I just feel like IM just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad 3-album run though. It's not a bad
Like Ho said, yeah.
So wait, man. Wait. Hold on. You mentioned Pac.
That was a great 3-album run. I ain't talking about the beginning. I said the run. I gave the 3
So
albums.
if we're gonna critique IM, then let's talk about All Eyes on Me.
Let's talk about it.
Wasn't too much on there. You think I would think that's a great double album or just a great single album that had?
I'm gonna call it a great double album.
I'm gonna go to Tupac guy for that.
I'm gonna call it a great double album, Phil, because you know why? Because he became universally sound on that. You know what I'm saying? He started.
Nope. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Nope.
I ain't gonna do this with you, Phil, because we on Nas. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want this thing to go over. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you took a jab.
But I'm just being real with you. It was universal. And if we want to get technical, I know as your guy, he bit. Your guy kind of bit a little bit off him too. You know what I'm saying? But we get to that.
Who?
Big. He bit the pissing shit. You know, the interlude and all that.
So
that's
all
all
wait,
pop.
So we talk about biting?
No, I'm just trying.
Are we?
Oh, we already. We already
gonna
know.
go there?
We already know about
I'm
that.
just saying we ain't gonna do that.
We already know about that. I'm just saying. I'm just breaking.
Okay.
I'm breaking down the realms of the album.
That was a
I'm breaking down the realms of the album to you. For him, what he had,
sliding him in there too. He think I ain't listening.
For him,
I hear you.
For him, what he had and what he worked with, inheriting the Death Row family. That was a critically acclaimed album, man.
Critically acclaimed, yes.
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 Best.
Absolutely.
One of the best. One of the best double albums ever.
Yes. But we talking about quality. We not talking about
It wasn't no quality on
the
there?
fanfare. Yeah, it was some quality on
It
there.
was a lot of quality on there. What you mean some? It was a lot of
I'm
quality.
telling you what I mean.
Okay, well, we can go track for track whenever you want to get a chance. And
You don't want me to
ain't
get
too
into
much.
this.
Yeah, but we already know how you feel, so we ain't talking about that. It ain't going to help us, man. But I feel you, Carl.
But I'm just talking about as far as, so to get back to the question, as far as 6 albums, 3 years, I really haven't seen it done before like that. So it's really nobody to compare it to other than like a Conway and Currency and West Side Gun and them. And of course, we're going to say Nas. Just as far as like albums that came out in a row, like I said, Nas is part of that. He's part of that conversation. I don't think he has the best 3-album run, but I think Kanye got
part of the conversation.
That Mobb Deep 3-album run, that Pot.
Oh,
3-album
here's another
run.
one. Here's another one. Outkast.
Oh, Outkast. Great 3-album run. Great 3-album run.
You might be able to even extend that to 4 albums with them. Because they to challenge that Kanye run. I would if it's any 3 albums to challenge that Kanye run, I would go because Outkast got better and better and better each album.
They did.
Because ATLians ain't to be slept on.
But ATLians is definitely not slept on. To me, that's my favorite.
And you might have been down there around. So you was ground floor on that.
Yeah, nah, that ATLians is one of my favorite. Like,
So,
and then when I got to Atlanta and I went back and listened to ATLians more, I understood more of the lyrics more because I was in the atmosphere then.
That hit me there. But proceed. Let's throw that one in there too. Because that run was insane.
I agree with that one. That's another one. And the Wu, man, the Wu first 3 albums wasn't bad. Of course, 36, the W for sure. And then, I mean, not the W, I mean Wu-Tang Forever, and then the W. That wasn't bad.
My boy
You're not going
too,
with
though.
that one either?
My boy
He
too.
don't like the Wu at all, so it's not.
I like
My
the Wu.
boy got a little Trey banger with a little small, you know what I'm saying? Jeezy.
Okay, I wouldn't know.
Let's get it done. Motivation.
I'm gonna give him a third one.
The inspiration was, but it was there. And the Recession. Recession is one of the best albums,
I wasn't
man.
big on the Recession.
You wasn't big on the Recession?
Nah, y'all was. I wasn't big on the
Yo,
Recession.
he's got #1 hype man. Jeezy all the way. He even beat out Flavor Flav.
Oh,
So
man,
look,
stop
okay, so
this dude's
Stop it, man.
can we? Okay, we that's one. That's a whole different show.
Yeah.
Because now I'm thinking, okay, if you're gonna throw Jeezy in there, then I gotta throw trap music, King.
Oh, T.I.'s in there.
And,
Yeah, absolutely.
T.I. got 3. T.I.
In there.
got 3
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And then if you're doing that,
I personally would go trap music, urban legend, and King.
King,
That
yeah.
would be me.
Right.
That would
That's
be
the.
me.
I was missing urban legend.
that would be me.
I was
Yeah,
missing
that
urban
three.
legend.
That's a strong three.
And if we're gonna do that, where does Ross 3 album run in there? Because he got one.
Yes, he do.
So that's a different. That's totally different.
And Ross should start from his first album. You know what I'm saying?
Ross
You wanna
got
get
an now that's an amazing.
Man's
run.
got Ross got a hell of a run.
Where's the dud in there? There's no dud in there.
It's one.
Good song.
It's one.
Which one?
I had to get back to you, but it's one that I really kind of didn't like, man.
Go ahead, Carl. Okay.
Man, that's a great conversation. I mean, that's me dissecting it. But the 6 albums,
No.
6 albums in 3 years.
I'm gonna answer you no.
Nah, just
There's
that.
never been a run like this ever.
Really?
In no format. Whether you and I'm gonna even throw mixtape runs in there. No run like this with this quality. Actual album releases, no. Absolutely not. No. 2 years, 6 actual releases. 2 years with this type of quality. I'm sorry.
3 and 6 because it started in
I'm sorry,
2020.
3 and 6.
2020. Yeah.
Well, no, he advertises it as 6 and 2.
Nah, it's 6 and 3 because
Let me see.
Because I seen the thing.
Okay, well,
because
let's
because
see the preview.
2020 is when King Disease 1 came out, so it's 2023
So no,
now.
that don't change anything. No, this quality of music, and whether you agree which one's classic, which one's the least favorite, with this quality of music and this type of time frame that is packed into, no.
Tribe Called Quest can get in that conversation too. Their first 3. I wasn't big on their first one, but they second 2 for sure. Midnight Marauders and Low End Theory.
I wasn't a huge fan of Midnight Marauder. It was
What?
a classic album.
Man, that's another show.
I'm in the minority in that one.
Oh,
so
that's
I
another
understand.
show. Oh man, Phil.
I
Oh, that's
wasn't
another
huge
show.
on
Don't
That's
worry
not
about
one
it.
of my
We're
favorites.
getting.
Oh, it gave me a
That's
little.
not one of my-
Don't go
I got
there,
a little
Carl.
hurt by that. Damn,
let's
Phil.
go.
Damn. All right, man.
Out of the 3, that's my least favorite.
What? Oh man.
Don't even do that, Carl.
All right, man. I gotta get focused again, man. Damn. All right,
man.
so
Hey, man.
Nas, man. Simple and plain. Is Nas the GOAT?
Yeah.
He's one of the GOATs, yes. He's not the
he's
overall
one.
GOAT.
Bah.
He's not the overall GOAT. We know what the overall GOAT is.
I mean, that's subjective.
You know where you know where I'm gonna go with this. He's not the GOAT to me, but he's at the table, and I'm not mad
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
anybody
Absolutely.
that says Nas is the GOAT. I don't have no problem.
I'm not arguing with him.
Who at the table? That we can at least settle that now. Who's at the table?
Nah,
We ain't doing dead.
Big,
We ain't doing dead.
Jay.
Let's not do dead.
Why not? Because my guy is at the table.
Yeah, we know that.
Dead or alive.
We know that.
Okay.
we know that.
But then you can't say we can't do dead.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying.
Biggie's
to,
at the table,
I'm just
bro.
trying to hear it outside of Pac and Big. We know they there. Look at them. They on the wall. We know that. You know what I'm
They
saying?
on the wall.
I'm tired of talking about them, man.
but
They
they-
on
but
the
Pac-
table.
he said-
But Pac is not on there. What makes you think Pac is
Let's
on
go,
there?
Carl.
you asked the question.
Let's
you
go,
said-
Carl.
Who's,
Let's
who-
go, man.
Who besides you said Pac is on there?
Let's go, man.
Pac's at the table, man. But I'm Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Pac, and I'm saying my top 5, but Rakim, and I think LL's at the table just off of,
And KRS and
I'm not gonna
Kane.
limit it to seats. Just who at your table? Who's
KRS
at your table?
1.
You already know I have
KRS-One.
my table.
Who at your table?
Biggie, Pac, Nas, Hove, and Jada.
Well, you should take Pac out and put Jeezy. I'd rather Jeezy than Pac.
Wait a minute.
I ain't going there with you,
Wait
man.
a minute. Wait a minute. I can't let that slide.
That's his guy.
No.
I love Jada, but he not at the table. All best of all.
Jada is standing behind them at the table.
He's serving the table.
Nah,
Okay.
he up there.
Who at the table? Who at your table?
Nas, Big, Jay, Rakim, KRS-One, Kane. And maybe LL too.
LL,
You
yeah.
use LL because LL's showing them how to cross over.
The big 3. I mean,
Biggie,
Pac,
Jay-Z,
Nas.
and Nas.
yeah.
You got
Biggie,
you got
Jay-Z,
Pac in
Nas.
there?
Of course.
Yeah, out of respect.
Pac is
yeah,
at the poet table.
No. He's
All right.
because here's
Him, Erica Badu,
Arguing with this guy.
And
Come on,
Jill
man.
Scott.
I got places to be. I ain't got
Here's
time
why.
for that.
This
You see
is
the
why.
table?
He's talking. He said
Pac,
Erica Badu, though,
Jill
man.
Scott, and Erica Badu. That's their table.
Stop it, man.
Right?
Go ahead, Phil.
Nah,
Go ahead.
only
Man.
because it's not that table is not just lyrics, it's influence, it's impact. So he's definitely at that table. L is at that table. This one might shock you though, as far as being at that table. You know what? I ain't gonna put him at the table.
Yeah.
He's in
Who?
the
But
room.
who?
He's in the room. I got a tremendous amount of respect for Cube. I do. He's in the room.
I ain't
I
mad.
fuck with
He's in
Cube.
the-
I ain't mad at that.
Only because of this.
I ain't
because
mad
of
at
this.
that.
You got to remember, Cube wrote Eazy's album. He wrote Dre and Eazy's parts on the first NWA album.
Yeah.
He's responsible for his own impactful career.
Yeah.
He went to
You know
the
what I
East
mean?
Coast then with the America's Most
And,
Wanted.
and that's one of the greatest
And that
albums
album
ever.
hard.
And he's on
hard.
Are You There Yet?
Yeah,
I mean,
what's wrong with
I
this
mean
guy?
that
What's wrong with this
Friday.
guy,
Let's
man?
go, man.
but yeah,
he's a good
I mean,
actor.
my table's pretty short though. It's a short table.
But-
it's Biggie, Jay-Z.
If Nas is not your GOAT, I think we can all agree that he's
He is
definitely
the GOAT.
in the conversation. He's
Yeah.
definitely at
But this,
the table.
but this my thing though. Who said that it's only one goat? It's a lot of goats in the, on the farm. You go to a farm, there's goats on there. You know what I'm saying? Who says it's only who?
But they all-
who rule is
They
that?
on the farm, but the
Who
big
rule
one
is
is up
that?
on that cliff, climbing up that cliff.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
To me, that's
a good
my
point.
goal.
That's a
my
good
goal,
point, though.
man.
That's a
And
good
I,
point.
you know,
So, any artists of today remind you of Nas?
Game, Euro Drew.
You're a Drew.
See, that's what I'm talking
You're
about.
a
sound
Drew
like him.
sounds like Nas. But
it would have to be Cole.
I'm gonna go with J.
It
Cole
would be Cole.
Or Kendrick.
or
slide
Kendrick
Kendrick
too.
in there.
Kendrick too.
Yeah.
I don't want to say
I don't know
Kendrick because
about Kendrick.
Kendrick's style sometimes goes a little out there.
He be
You know what I mean?
rambling.
But,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he can get in that lane. He's in that lane sometimes.
Yeah.
Now he does go off.
Cole.
Now,
Everybody-
now,
Cole is more in the pocket. A little
I
more.
think,
Yeah.
I think, not saying he does because you know they're gonna start bringing up the numbers and the awards he won and thing like. I think Kendrick needs some smelling salt. I think somebody need to give him some smelling salt so he can get back to that. You know what I'm
Somebody to
saying?
light a fire on
Yeah,
them,
why
like
not?
Nas did.
Fuck it. Why not?
Well, he always ready for smoke though. He always seemed to have these unreleased diss records.
That joint
Yeah.
got hard too. That joint got hard too.
That was AI though, wasn't it? They
Nah,
said?
that was real. That wasn't no AI.
He always.
That was
he,
real,
He
bro.
seemed like he on edge all the time. Like he ready.
He ready
for
to
it.
go. He do be
He
ready to
like
go.
he
man.
need one of them classic.
I don't
battles.
respect it until you come out with it though.
So Nas and J. Cole. Anybody else you heard that? Oh, you know what? I like Corday, man. The dude
Corday,
Corday. He in his pocket. Corday, all right.
I like Corday.
He
But
didn't-
as far as
what
rapping
about,
though,
like,
man,
Nick
on
Grant?
some real rapping shit,
Nick Grant's dope. Nick Grant's
Nick
in
Grant's
that pocket
dope.
a little bit.
I
People
like
don't know him
Simba
as
too,
much.
man.
Simba.
Yeah, he's pretty dope.
I like Simba,
I'm
man.
just getting
Simba
turned on
was
him.
nasty on the award.
I like Simba.
Yeah,
man.
I'm
think,
just getting turned
I
on
think
him.
Simba's kind of in the Jadakiss lane a little bit to me more than Nas.
More punchline.
More
yeah.
punchline is
He is more punchline.
is still
Yeah.
poet.
He
He is
is,
more
but he a
punchline.
rapper.
He's
Simba
a
a rapper.
But I just feel like he's more in that punchline than poet.
Yeah.
Like Nick Grant
Nas
and
is
Corday
more
is
poetic,
more like a
metaphorical
poet.
wordplay.
J. Cole is like J. Cole can go back and forth, but he can get in the poet lane. Kendrick Lamar is definitely in the poet
I
lane.
thought that was dope when they did the whole let Nas down, didn't let Nas. That
was
was
dope.
that was kind of. It was almost kind of pairing them two together now at that point.
But that was dope.
It was
That
tying
was
them
dope.
two together.
That let him know his respect for Nas
Yeah.
too, man.
It was tying them two together, and then Nas jumped on it like, "Oh, young fella, wait, whoa, let me."
Yeah.
So future predictions for Nas, man. Any he just dropped 6 albums in 3 years.
Probably chill for me.
17 albums.
Take a break, my guy. Do a victory
17
lap.
albums.
Take a break,
Just
my
turned
guy.
50.
No more Hit Boy for a minute.
Nah, no more Hit Boy.
I think he's gonna do an R&B album with Drake.
Stop it,
Stop it, man.
Stop it. I would like to see him. He took it with Hit Boy. He kind of expanded with the younger. Take it back a little bit. Maybe do an EP or album with Primo. The AZ Nas and AD thing would definitely be big
If
for
they
me.
It's
do
well
that-
overdue.
If they do that, it's got to be short, like maybe
10
6,
songs.
7 albums.
I'd
Nas
like
and
to
Songs,
see
you
it.
mean?
Nas and AZ.
You mean like 7 or 8 songs?
Yeah.
You done made Drake come on with that dumb shit you yelling about Drake.
See, that's
What's wrong with Drake, man?
Let me see your screen.
Yeah, no,
Is that a thing around here?
Oh, okay.
Nas and AZ could do a 10 song joint.
Yeah, 10 song
10
joint.
song, 8 song.
And I think that's who they
Nice.
should go. I think them two should attack the premieres and them. You get what I'm saying?
That would be dope.
Together.
I don't know about AZ on Premiere.
Why not?
He got dope songs in Premiere. Check his catalog.
Yeah,
I
you
send
might
them
want to
to
go.
you. He got
You
some
might
joints.
want to go listen to that.
Yeah, he got some joints with Premiere.
AZ got a hell of a first 3 banger too. Don't get it fucked up. What?
I'm in a weird space.
Do or Die, Pieces of a Man.
Pieces of a Man was cool.
Cool.
Wow. I like Asiatic and
AZ
Nine Lives more
Asiatic
than
was
That's-
great. Asiatic was great.
yeah,
Asiatic,
Asiatic and Nine
yeah.
Lives to me.
I'm
was better
taking
than those.
Asiatic at the door and die.
Yeah.
Asiatic was dope.
Yeah,
I take
Asiatic and
Nine
Nine Lives.
Asiatic.
I'm
over
taking Pieces of a Man over both of them.
I take Asiatic over Pieces of a Man.
Not me.
But what would you say? You guys say something, Phil, about Nas' future? Are you expecting from him?
Just chill, man. Take a victory lap.
Chill.
You did it. You
Go to
you-
Sweet Chicks, eat some chicken.
Yeah, this is just a nice cap. This is a nice cap on your career. Go ahead and make some bread. Bring out some younger artists. Give us some hip hop.
So
Give us
keep
more
pushing that
Dave-
mass appeal and all
Yeah,
that.
give us more Dave. Give us some more Davies. Give us a couple more of them. Because that's what we need. We need that.
Somebody needs to direct Davies.
I mean, hell, he's supposed.
He's all over the place.
But just give
He
us
said he
more
could
hip-hop.
rhyme so good,
Davies
it's just
dope,
don't do
though.
good albums.
Davies
Don't do
dope,
this.
It's like his boy.
Who?
And rap his ass off, but you
Who?
ask him to put 10 songs together, and Jesus Christ,
Who's that?
shit goes
He talking about Jada.
Jada. That shit goes
Oh,
left.
yeah.
Get his
There's
face.
this guy.
Get his
That
face.
shit goes
I
left.
ain't going there, man. I got places to be, man.
I mean, what? Please A&R that nigga, man.
All right, Nas, 50 years old, man. Happy 50th birthday to Nas. Man, like looking back at his career that spanned over 30 years, man, in hip hop, man. 17 albums, 50 years old, man. 50, the same year as hip hop.
Make me feel
Looking
old.
back as Nas, man, what's Nas' legacy in the game as of right now? There might be another 20 years added on to this, but right now, Nas, 50 years old, 30 plus years in the game.
Straight spitter.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Can't take nothing from me.
Straight spitter.
I
man.
I remember at 18 seeing him like 4 or 5 times at the mall. Going into the mall with Green Acres.
Wow.
This was when Illmatic came out, and he was still walking the street like it was nothing. He looked mad young. He looked like a 16-year-old.
Yeah, but think he was 17 when I came
He was
out.
17? Yeah, he was really young.
I'm 17. Because he said, I remember his interview going into, after it was written, he had mentioned that when he did Illmatic, he didn't make a whole bunch of money. He was sitting in the car with like $100 in his pocket, and Illmatic is playing on the radio like crazy. And it spurred him hearing, the Biggie shit and all of that. And it birthed, it was written that he had to
Yeah.
elevate so he could get some
I
money.
didn't realize when you said 17, that's one thing, because I was 17.
Yeah, he's like 17. He's very I know this album came out. He was still a teenager, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I was in high school still.
Yeah, Nas is
Watching
Nas is one of hip hop.
About to be 50, huh, Peter?
Yeah,
February.
yeah, man. Nas is 50 years old. Remarkable career. He stood the test of time, man. He's still relevant. He's still active. He's still getting money. He a boss. Music wise, he's a
No,
legend.
let me correct that. I'm sorry. 20. He was 20. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
21
He was
what?
20. April 19th, 1994. He was 20 years old. I'm tripping. So, yeah, I don't want to put that out there. He was 17. Correct that.
Nah, but legendary career. I don't feel like it's over musically. I feel like he might take a break, but I feel like he not done the zone that he was in. I feel like he's gonna come out with more music. But he's a legend in the game. His catalog. It can't you can't say nothing about Nas, even if you don't,
Does
even
he
if
got
he's
the
not your
most?
favorite.
He's got the most out of everybody.
What albums? I don't know.
question.
I don't know.
Album and Run together. LL would have it, but LL dropped off for a while.
Yeah, after LL got to like his 10th, he kind of
so
chilled out.
Nas got it.
I got
Or
question.
Jay-Z.
No, he got more albums than Jay-Z. Jay-Z's at like 13.
I got a question for you.
So Nas is then the top.
Would you be here for a joint Jay and Nas collab?
Absolutely. I'm for it.
An album?
Is it too late, or would you
No,
be here for it?
no.
It ain't too late for it.
I'm for it. And you know what? To be honest, I think it's more of a possibility of that than people think. That's just me. I'm putting
More
it out.
possibility of that than him and AZ.
I think he may
Business-wise, yes.
I think business-wise he may jump at that more than AZ. But I'm telling you right now, I'm on the record. Don't be surprised if that happens. I would not be surprised.
They
if
both
Nas
at a
and
certain
Jay-Z.
place right now where it's like,
Or they just do an Old Man Gang album. Have AZ on it, some songs with Jay.
This guy, man.
Nas don't have to be on every one, but have Rakim and Kane on there, the old school, like an old school album.
They're not
Jay-
going. They're not going
Jay
to
ain't
do that.
doing
Jay's
that.
not going to do
Why?
that.
I ain't fucking
He's
with
not
that.
going.
Makes
He's
sense.
not going to do no old head album. It got to make sense. The Nas one makes more sense to him. He would do the Nas album. He's not doing a senior citizen of hip hop album. He's not. He's
you know,
not.
a nine song album, 10
Nah,
songs. Go in for 10 songs.
that
Premiere.
I don't think it would
Pharrell.
be just Nas and Jay-Z though.
They might bring
they
other
wouldn't.
people, but I think that could happen. I would not be surprised.
That'll be the title album, but then they'll have other people on songs.
I
with
would
them.
not be surprised if that happens because Nas and Jay, they, you know what I'm saying, they kind
would bring it full
They'd
circle.
bring out the best of each other. He would be down for that. That would intrigue him. But Jay stuff gotta make sense in a certain way now. He not just jumping to everything. It gotta make sense somehow. That would make sense to him for the hip hop part of him.
Yeah.
That would make sense. It is Jay and Nas after the battle. It's kind of like, yo, we're going to give y'all, this is a gift to hip hop. It ain't about money. It's a gift to hip hop. That could happen. But
I know Swizz gonna be on there.
I hope not. They
Yeah, I hope not.
real
I
limited
wouldn't.
if Swiss is on there. No
Give
disrespect
me,
to
give
Swiss.
me,
No.
give me just
Just
Blaze.
one. Just one.
Give me just Blaze.
Everybody bring your top one.
Word.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
me just. Give me
Swizz gonna copy
Premiere.
another song. Put it
Just
up.
Blaze, Premiere, Kanye.
You reaching.
I don't know. You reaching with Kanye? 'Cause
Reaching with Kanye.
He might be able to capture it. That'll get him out of his big boots.
Kanye gonna think of an excuse.
Yeah.
He got to go to
He might
church
get
that
jealous.
day.
He might get jealous.
He
though.
got church that day.
He
can't
might
come.
feel some kind of way.
I like the big boots.
Yeah. He might
come to the
That might
studio
get
with
him
the
out
big
of his big
boots.
boots though.
Take his mask off.
Yeah, give me Blaze. Only Swizz if he come with
Swizz
like,
come with something different, not the same.
I don't want to hear them. I don't want to hear them
Same drums.
chords. That's what I don't want.
Nah, we don't. But man, Nas can do whatever he want, honestly, at this point in his career, man. But man, 50 years old, man. Happy birthday, happy 50th to Nas, the legend, man. Keep on inspiring. Thank you for all you did for hip hop, man. All your contributions to the game, to hip hop, man. How you a leader in the game. You 50 years old. You still looking fly out here. Still making moves, man. Anything else y'all want to say about Nas celebrating his 50th?
Bah.
Salute to Nas, man. Pito, anything to you?
Nas is coming. Nas is coming.
Happy 50th, Nas, man. Salute from the Concert Crew podcast. If you haven't heard Nas, which some people, young people, may not have heard him, go back and check out Nas, man.
I'm gonna buy Illmatic and probably give it to 2 or 3 young kids.
Okay.
They ain't listening to that. Man.
I never made Kyron listen to it.
Yeah.
I know you made Carl, right?
Yeah. Carl like Nas. Carl like Nas and Jay.
That
See-
Illmatic album.
Yeah, see, Nas is different. Nas is like people either love him or they don't like him at all. It's not really like a middle point with like some people. It's like they love him or they don't rock with him at all. Like I don't like Nas. So he's interesting, man. But Nas is a legend in the game. Happy 50th birthday. Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure I go follow us at Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure I go download, subscribe.
Hit the
We
button.
on all digital platforms. Make sure you go to our YouTube page. Subscribe. Thank y'all for all the support. Keep running them video views up. As always, long live our brother Tez, man. We love you, brother. And we're going to continue to march forth. Concert Crew Podcast. We here.
We ain't going
going nowhere. Pito finally live, man. Yo, Pito, hit us with the fader. We out.
Yes, sir.
Salute, Nas. Happy 50th, brother.